Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Marside for today's live FOSROC Super6 match between Watsonians Rugby and Boroughmuir Bears. Now, Watsonians started this campaign so well but recently have lost a few matches, so the only way they'll feature in the final of this competition is by getting some W's back on the board. Watsonians have almost gone into free fall and desperately need a bonus point win this afternoon against a team which they beat comfortably earlier in the campaign. However, it is a derby match and anything can happen. Boroughmuir Bears are sitting bottom of the FOSROC Super6 and they'll want to be finishing their campaign on a high over the next couple of weeks. They never like losing any game, but they especially hate losing against their local rivals. It's the last match of the penultimate round of games before finals weekend and the race is hotting up to be in that final 2 weeks today at Edinburgh's Dam Health Stadium. Watsonians Rugby versus Boroughmuir Bears is live right here on FreeSports, kick-off 1:30. A very warm welcome to Marside on a sunny yet very breezy day for this hugely important game for Watsonians Rugby, and Chris Patterson's alongside me. Chris, they've got to win with a bonus point. They know what they've got to do. Yeah, Watsonians started this FOSROC Super 6 really well. We covered the opening weekend and they played some lovely attacking rugby. They went on to grind out 2 or 3 wins, sat at the top of the table for a few weeks, but they've lost the last 3 in a row, so they've lost that momentum a little bit. They need to find it back if they want to reach the final. Conversely, Boroughmuir can play some really good stuff. They haven't had the results that their form really, I suppose, determines. Really, they can play really good attacking rugby. There were too many errors at the start of the season, but have ironed that out, and there will be a threat to the home side here at Watsonians, as will the wind. You've mentioned it already. It's straight up and down the field, so we'll see how that affects the play. Absolutely, and of course this is a hugely important game because any derby game is an important game, but of course they're playing for the Alan McNish Memorial Trophy as well today, so an added sort of incentive for both sides. Yeah, the sentimental value of that trophy played between the two sides. Former player Alan McNish and representative of the club and Edinburgh as well, back row forward, so that means a lot to the players. It means a lot to the supporters and everybody associated with the history of the club, so that will drive them on. But it's accuracy that Watsonians are going to have to find this afternoon, because they'll be put under pressure by Boroughmuir with the threats they have. I'm looking forward to the centre battle between Coetzee and Lewis Berg, who are both playing really well for Watsonians, and Robin McCallum and the young Duncan Munn in the midfield for Boroughmuir, who I think has been outstanding. I think only 18 or 19 years of age, so really looking forward to that battle in the midfield. It's a short competition, so momentum is hugely important. So if you're the coach of Watsonians, you're kind of like, well, they've lost that momentum and they know there's real pressure on them. Only 2 games left really before the finals weekend, so it's such important to get that victory in today. It is, and it's how do you find that victory, isn't it? Because there's a tendency, if you show too much emotion, too much passion, you lose the accuracy. If you don't get enough emotion, you maybe don't reach the passion needed for the game. So it's a fine balance. They have to take confidence from the quality they've shown in the first 3 or 4 weeks, and they'll have identified what's been poorer over the last couple of weeks and try and get that balance again, because they do need to finish well. And Boroughmuir, as I said, they're at the foot of the table, but they've played better than that, and they'll be looking to pick up another one this afternoon as well. Yeah, I've watched Boroughmuir dominate games but not win them. I mean, so many times, a couple of times we've had a couple of Boroughmuir players as the player of the match, yet they haven't won the game. So I mean, they'll be desperate to get towards the end of the season actually to pick up some W's as well. Absolutely, and they are a threat. I think the reason they didn't win early on was the basic errors were too high. They were unforced errors. They've ironed that out, but they've been so close on the wrong side of games in the final seconds, as you say, in 2 or 3 occasions. They've had some of the star players of tournament. Khalil Barreto at 9 has consistently played well. They've got a change at 10. Simprich comes in at 10 today, so he'll be trying to bring that attacking midfield into the game. They've got some cracking back row players, so it's going to be a real challenge. So how's it going to go then? I think it'll be a home win. I think just the power up front from Watsonians, I think will just set the platform for a home win. Okie dokie. Well, let's hear from the coaches ahead of this one. An Edinburgh derby today, always something to look forward to. Yeah, it's the Boroughmuir Watsonians game. It's a close rivalry, especially in Super 6. So it's something exciting for the players, something a little bit different as well. But adds another dimension to the Super 6 competition, which is always nice. Absolutely, and let's talk a bit about the season that's been, because I've just been speaking to Chris Patterson and we've been talking about the way that Boroughmuir have been going this season. You've been dominating some games and yet not getting the victories. I mean, how frustrating has that been for you as a coach? Yeah, it's frustrating for all the everybody that's involved in it, because we've done a lot of really positive
things this season, and a lot of our performances have been, over the piece have been really good, but punctuated by some indiscipline or some errors, and the errors have cost us. And again, as I've said a number of times this season, we've craved for a competition that has consequences and accountability. We now have that in Super6, and it's we're learning some really hard lessons, unfortunately, but at the same time the players are receptive of that. They know they've got to improve and keep working and keep striding to have success, and making sure that we don't replicate those errors again. And that's really the challenge for us, to remain competitive and remain in the competition and get the results we're looking for.
And of course today's against Watsonians. That's for the Alan McNish Memorial Trophy as well, which adds an extra incentive for both sides. Yeah, well, Watson's got a good lead coming into this game, so it's certainly going to be tough for us to turn that around. But again, it's a local derby. There's a lot of pride at stake. It's different times, I suppose, going back to the good old days when Boroughmuir and Watsons played in the domestic game. It has changed now, and a lot of the players maybe don't have as strong links with the club. But I do think it's important for both clubs to remember the heritage that they come from, and it's really important that the Alan McNish Trophy's played for and remembered. Watsonians, of course, have lost their last 3 games as well. So does that give you confidence as a team going into this one? Yeah, it gives. I think every game's been tough for us. We approach every game to try and improve on our performance from last week, correct some of the wrongs that maybe have happened, and Watsons are no different. They've now got it's a different aspect for them. They're looking at retaining their position at the top, getting back into the top 2. So it'll be tough for them today, and hopefully we'll make it incredibly hard for them. Absolutely as well, and also reflecting on the season it's been then, because finishing with a couple of wins would be a fantastic thing for you, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be a huge shot in the arm for us. Again, the players they've committed wholeheartedly. We've had some real challenges around squads and availability of players, and everybody that's come in, they've put their whole heart and soul into it. So we can't ask for any more from the players, and it would be nice to get some results, but at the same time we've got to accept that that's an outcome of the game, and we've just got to make sure that we get our processes right. And before that board behind you blows over, we'll let you get on with the game. Okay, nice to speak to you. Cheers. So Fergus, we're all looking forward to this one today, aren't we? I know an Edinburgh derby is always a good prospect.
Yes, we had a tough game first up against the Bears in round 1, so we expect it to be a tough game, and we're looking forward to it. Now, last week I spoke to you, and of course you needed that victory, weren't able to get it, but you've kept yourself in the hunt because you had some bonus points as well. So you must be looking forward to this today. Yes, our focus very much is on our performance. We need to start well this week. We started the blocks last week. Sterling capitalised, so we know we need a good start and we need a strong 80-minute performance. And you also know that a bonus point win keeps you in the hunt as well. Yeah, listen, that's not something we can really focus on. We have to do first things first, so we have to get our performance right, get our processes right. We've put a plan in place for the game, and hopefully that works, and hopefully the players execute it really well. You're playing for the Alan McNish Memorial Trophy today as well, which adds an extra incentive for both sides, I guess. Yes, it does. I think with all the happenings of the competition, something that you don't often think about is the Alan McNish Cup, which is an important thing for both clubs, so we take a lead into this game, but to be honest, our focus has to be on putting in a performance and trying to win the game today, and then that would take care of itself. Do you think you've been slightly hard done by as a coach, because you've lost quite a few players, haven't you, through injury, and some have left the club as well? Has that been hard to kind of keep the squad together and keep that momentum going? Yeah, listen, the competition's a really short, intense competition, but we also have to have that bigger picture focus. So as a group of players, as a group of staff, you're going to go through some tough times, you're going to go through some challenges, and that's going to grow us as a group. So although it's not always comfortable and enjoyable at the time, I think we'll be better off for this moving forward and into next season. Yeah, and let's talk about momentum though, because obviously you've lost it a bit. You started really, really well, you've lost it now. How do you turn that around today? I think it just comes down to each player and each coach just doing their job really well and focusing on that, focusing on the small things and getting those right, and I think off the back of that you can get a good collective performance. And of course you'll know Boroughmuir Bears have been, they're such a good team, then they've dominated many games so far that maybe not get the wins that perhaps they deserved, but you'll know they'll come at you today and they'll come at you ferociously. Yeah, listen, I've been really impressed with them this season. I think Graham and his coaching staff have done a really good job. They've played some really good rugby, they're well organised, you can see what they're trying to do, they play an attractive brand of rugby, so we know it's going to be a big challenge today. But to be honest, our focus is on ourselves, getting our processes right, and hopefully we can stamp our authority on the game. We wish you all the best. Thanks very much. At 1:30 this afternoon, it's Watsonians Rugby against Boroughmuir Bears. Please join us after this break.
Welcome back. Watsonians against Boroughmuir coming up at 1:30. A hugely important game for both teams, particularly Watsonians, who have to get a bonus point win to stay in contention for the final. But before that, let us get highlights from the rest of the matches this weekend, starting on Friday night's match between Ayrshire Bulls and the Southern Knights.
Good evening from Ayrshire. Tonight we're at Millbrae as the FOSROC Super 6 continues. We've reached week 9 and the top 2 in the table go head to head here in Ayrshire. The Ayrshire Bulls host the Southern Knights in what's sure to be a cracking fixture. Back again. Time for the prop, George Thornton. Thornton just pushing away. Andrew Mitchell tried to send it out wide, taken just off the very top of the turf. Mitchell was there. Referee checking the ball, they're trying to come round the corner. Ayr think they've scored, and indeed they have. Holly Davidson in position to give the try, and it's a perfect start for the Ayrshire Bulls.
Yeah, I think that was Blair McPherson squeezed over in the corner there, so the big man will be happy. Good run of try scoring form for him, so he's managed to squeeze over again there in the corner.
Fantini did really well going in to set the ball up. Robbie Nairn in there as well. And there you can see the drive through. Still had a lot of work to do, Ben McPherson, to get through. It's well taken, Everard. And there's the rolling ball. This is going to be hard to stop. The referee is happy it came down naturally. Vanak plays it out wide. McPherson looking for his second score of the evening. The Bulls' top try scorer. Round the corner they go again, being repelled once more. Ferry not trying to do the work. The backs now set up to the left hand side, the forwards set up to the right. It's the forwards who take it in, trying to find a way through. That's terrific textbook play from the Ayrshire Bulls. And once more they managed to get the ball over the line. I think Ben McPherson says that's mine once more. There you go. When they were on, Billy Wara's seen it. Anderson and Vicar, the wingers, still want to get involved. It's been well taken, now they're driving, trying to get things set. They are going round the corner, there's a splinter way down in that far corner. Just waiting for the signal from the referee. She's broken to the side, and referee Holly Davidson has given the try. Well, again they went in en masse, and for the first time this evening they crossed the try line. This is a big kick. Jason Baggett strikes it. The assistant referees look, but the flag stayed down. Well, it was a tough kick, but could have done with that from a one try deficit perspective. Here comes Tom Jordan. I can confirm the man alongside me, Robbie Ferguson, is Blair McPherson. The double try scorer as the FOSROC Super 6 player of the match is Tom Jordan. Launches the last kick of the evening, and he sent that wide, which will mean the Southern Knights will leave with a bonus point. But it is the Ayrshire Bulls who will take all 4 points in a tight contest, and for the first time this season neither the Ayrshire Bulls or the Southern Knights can get over 20 on the scoreboard. Yeah, the late penalty from Tom Jordan going wide of the post, which gives us our full-time scoreline. The Ayrshire Bulls 17, the Southern Knights 11.
Welcome to Golden Acre, the home of Heriots, on a blustery afternoon here in the capital as they welcome Stirling County in the penultimate round of the FOSROC Super 6 season. And we're looking there to try and throw it into the middle, and it does go into the middle. It's Ronan Sadak who brings the ball down, and well hit, and Heriots again trying to punt the legs and get the ball going forward, and it looks like it's an opportunity. Heriots are over and they get the opening score in this game. Defensive tackle there, a little bit passive, and Stirling County have got room over on this far side. A little cut back in field and snapped in the legs. It was McMichael who got the tackle there. And again, Stirling County just over the line, and that is the reply score for Stirling County. Persistent pressure, and that is a great score from what was a great initial tackle from Taylor Menzies. And it's retrieved well there, and it's going to be set up again. Linus just setting himself up again. I think it's Wilson perhaps with the ball at the back, and Heriots look to try and get a shunt on, try and get this moving forward. And it's peeled off at the side, stretching over, and that is an excellent try there from the captain, Ian Wilson. He just spotted a little gap. You could see him all afternoon at the back of the mall, just stretching his neck and straining his neck to see if there was any opportunity to strike. And tapping the ball in, signalling that ball is coming in, and it's certainly not nudging far. Both teams here cancelling each other out. It looks like Stirling getting a little bit of a move there, but it's Menzies who's got the ball at the base, and it's Cunningham who's found the bouncing ball. It has went back, and now it's Archie Russell who's found an offload on the ground, and it's Roach on the far side. It offloads back inside. Hughes offloads to Roach again, and it's went forward in the pass. That was so close there. The big second rows there mixing together as Kortvig comes back this side, and he's got plenty of runners there. Hughes has found Russell. Russell's got Roach on the far side. Roach has got a man to beat, steps back inside, dives over the try line, and Stirling County get the score. Finds Houston. Houston's got a runner there, but the ball's bobbled up the top. Leishman just can't gather, and it's going to be a penalty here to Heriots. And just on his right-footed kick, and it's certainly got the length, and the assistant referees like it as well. Houston nudges Heriots in front, 13 points to 12. They now lead. And he's got some support on the left-hand side. He finds the runner, and Stirling are trying to work hard to get back into position, but the referee signalled another penalty. And again, a right-footed kick. It certainly looks like it might have the distance, and the assistant referees are both happy, and that is an excellent kick from Houston from his own half. An entertaining finish to this tight battle between these two teams. Gowdy now. Gowdy has got the ball over, and he's found a little gap. Callum Young doing well to almost keep his opposite man off of scoring a try. And County still, and there's a little gap. They've snuck through. The referee has signalled a score in almost the final minute of this game. There's a few pats on the back. And Houston now to get us back underway. And it's come back on a Heriots side. It looks like it is now on a Stirling County side, as it's messy on the floor, but it looks like it's going to be kicked out, and it's going to be that man Hughes who's kicked out at the death. The man who kicks out to close play is the man who also scored a last minute try to win it for Stirling County as they secure a place in the third place playoff in the Super 6.
A great last minute win for Stirling County there, and Ayrshire Bulls have got their form right at the correct time of the season. Watsonians against Boroughmuir coming up after this short break. Welcome back on a particularly beautifully sunny and pretty windy day here in Edinburgh. We're at Myerside for Watsonians Rugby against the Boroughmuir Bears. Chris Patterson and Stuart McFarlane will take you through this one.
Yeah, thanks very much, Doogie. Welcome to the back of the stand here at Myerside. It is somewhat chilly at the back, but looking down on the pitch, still quite bright and sunny cloud cover to come over the skies a little bit later on this afternoon. There is your league table then, as these two Edinburgh sides lock horns in a couple of minutes' time. Ayrshire Bulls on top after that dramatic win over the Southern Knights on Friday night, and drama as well for Stirling County and Heriots, with County coming out on top, a last minute score denying the Golden Acre team a win. Just a reminder of the results over the course of the weekend. We expected a lot from the Friday night contest over in Alloway, 17 points to 11. Ayrshire Bulls winning, they top the table. Some late changes in the sides this afternoon. Mike Jones comes in place of Ross Dunbar in the front row for Boroughmuir Bears. It means Jamie Drummond is on the bench in place of Finlay Scott as well. And Watsonians, well, they'll look at the experience of Loman McPherson on the right wing and Rue Smith on the left to try and open up the park and use the width to good effect as this Boroughmuir Bears side seek their third win, I should say, of the season, and try and close the gap on the aggregate score between these sides, with the small matter of the Alan McNeish Trophy up for grabs. Chris, just a quick look at the teams. We mentioned there about the change in the Boroughmuir ranks as well, but Watsonians, well, they know that nothing other than a bonus point win this afternoon will be enough to try and close the gap on those two teams directly above them.
Yeah, they started the FOSROC Super6 so well. The Watsonians have lost the last 3 in a row, so they're looking to find that format. Boroughmuir Bears have played some scintillating rugby, in all honesty, maybe a little bit error soon at times, but they will come and threaten Watsonians here. There's a look at the bench. You mentioned Jamie Drummond on the bench for Boroughmuir Bears as a late replacement comes in, and these players will make an impact. A little bit short of forward experience in the bench for Watsonians as well. Murray Scott, Rhys Cullen, both scrum halves on the bench. Matt Morrison a 10 and Scott King covered the rest of the back, so the back should be well covered. Watsonians will look to keep their pack as fresh as possible because there isn't a huge amount of experience in the bench.
And Watsonians first onto the park, and Boroughmuir just directly behind him, led on by Craig Kenny, who's lost the number off the back of his jersey, but he's in that back row alongside Rhys Tate, and Tristan Andrews starts at number 8 this afternoon for the visiting side. Ian Kenny is the man in the middle this afternoon. He makes his way out of the changing rooms and onto the field of play. Chris mentioned as well a bit of a gusty breeze around Myerside this afternoon. That's bound to be a factor, but our camera crews have been warned that there could well be some rain coming close by over the course of the afternoon, particularly in the second half. That may also impact on how both these sides then will play out the full 80 minutes. But it's bright at the moment. It's a very autumnal afternoon in Edinburgh, and Watsonians will get this match underway. Ian Kenny, whistle to mouth, and off we go then. Of course, Watsonians winning 36-13 in the reverse fixture. So in terms of the aggregate score and the Alan McNeish Trophy, it's all about the aggregate win there. Watsonians very much on top at the moment. Tristan Andrews with an early touch in that back row for Boroughmuir. They'll launch it forward at a touch finder that takes play down closer towards the 10 metre line, so a straightforward exit for the visitors, but a throw in early on for Ross Graham and for this Watsonian side.
Yeah, massive tackle from the kickoff, wasn't it? It was Rhys Tate who took the ball in for Boroughmuir, running hard and physical in the midfield. It's a huge collision, and with that wind behind, Killian Barretto did the right thing just to get this clearance kick away up to almost the 10 metre line. The wind is behind Boroughmuir Bears for this first half, so first challenge for Ross Graham and the Watsonians line is to try and compete with that wind and win the possession.
A glimpse of the Pentlands just in the background there as the throw-in is relatively short, and again they're looking to recycle. Watsonians trying to close in on that 22, recycled again by the scrum half Frostwick. Frostwick goes in once more and finds the hands there of Reynolds, looking to make some width in. Harvey Elms comes into that 22, offload is good as well. It's gathered there by Frostwick, but Boroughmuir had managed to secure defensive cover.
in that 22. Referee had the whistle to mouth there, but allows play to continue over the ball there. I can see Dom Coetzee as well, as the Watsonians, the momentum has dropped ever so slightly, and Boroughmuir have managed to reorganise out from the hands of the scrum half FOSROC. Again, you can see how central they are inside that 22. FOSROC once again dancing back in field up, defensive cover this time supplied by Ewan Ferry in that second row for Boroughmuir. It's recycled another phase of play, will bring them back closer towards centre field in the post. Craig Carey has eyes on the ball at the moment as it's back with Reynolds. He tries to drift it out towards Elms on this right hand side. He tried to evade some trouble there. The referee was playing a short period of advantage, so back it will come, and still inside the Boroughmuir 22, and once again the home side will have an opportunity to press this defence.
Yeah, some good attack from Watsonians. Harvey Elms cutting through after a lovely delayed pass from Coetzee, the Watsonians 12, and then Boroughmuir did really well actually to stem the tide after Craig Keddy got in and slowed the possession down enough so Boroughmuir could find their defensive formation, and then I think it was restate eventually. The Bears number 7 that was penalised for not rolling away in the shadow of his post, so Joe Reynolds gets the opportunity to get the first points of the day.
So this kick inside the 22, just slightly to the left off that left hand post, and he'll place this on the tee. Both goal kickers were just very conscious of the wind around Meyer side and were attempting drop kicks and
on the line.
Kicks from the tee from various parts of the park just to try and read the direction and the strength of the wind. So we'll see if Reynolds inside the first 4 minutes can land the opening points for the home side. No problems at all there. Clean strike of the ball, 3 points on the board, and the home side lead by 3 points to 0.
I think they'll be obviously happy with that, but I think Boroughmuir will be quite content as well, because there's 2 or 3 really good phased attacks from Watsonians. Boroughmuir looks stretched, but they did manage to slow possession down, and I think they'll be quite happy just to concede 3 and not 7 there. Good work from, as I say, Craig Keddy to slow possession down, but you can see already that Watsonians really want to attack with ball in hand and try and get that outside edge.
Martin Simprich starting at 10 this afternoon. Tom Pittman has been a really effective fly half for Boroughmuir, a very good goal kicker. And Simprich, the Czech Republic star, is in at 10 this afternoon alongside Colin Barreto, as Boroughmuir, as mentioned, seeking their 3rd win of the season. Back it comes and launched forward again by Reynolds.
Take it back.
And just put a little bit too much on that, as that goes straight out. It presents Boroughmuir with an opportunity to throw in inside that 22, very close to the flags. And suddenly they've got an attacking platform, and this early on they will want to try and do some damage to their opposition.
Absolutely, the ball passed back into the 22, so the ball couldn't be kicked straight. Actually, I think it got caught in the wind as well after Joe Reynolds'
please, on your foot,
strike.
man, guys. Yes, you're good.
Exactly what Boroughmuir will want.
Boroughmuir, step in.
They're the lovely attacking side, but they can be dynamic and physical up front as well. Ewan Ferry and Jack Fisher probably the targets of this.
Craig McKenzie with the throw in just towards the middle of the line, then he'll join in the drive.
That okay, don't
remain close towards the touchline. The look to recycle. Forward comes Barreto again with outstretched arm, just watching his forwards trying to control possession of the ball inside the opposition 22. They splinter and break away, but make a little bit more ground in the 22, and now the backs just at their position as they look to ready themselves for a possible attack on this Watsonians defensive line. Keddy again just watching on this group of forwards, just as a collective, getting themselves involved. It comes from Barreto on towards Keddy there. Scrum half back in position again. Cover over the ball at the moment. It's an important stage for Boroughmuir. They've found a little splint pass, a beautiful 1-2 on towards Barreto, and he's over the line for a score. It was a case of biding their time, and the scrum half, who himself during the course of this short season has been twice awarded the player of the match, takes the congratulations of his teammates there. A relatively simple 1-2, but it was all about the timing of bringing the backs into play, and Barreto's over for the score.
Outstanding try from Boroughmuir, who said that they've got a nice attack, and that was shown there. Direct, first good line out win, pick and go, make a few yards around the breakdown. Watsonians' defence was really well organised, so it actually took a little bit of wider pass, and Robbie McCallum breaking through and getting his hands through. There's Robbie McCallum making the break. Daly makes the tackle, but the support line of Colleen Barreto is absolutely sublime. He takes him away from Elms and scores under the post. So important to get that second pass once you get it back. There's the first pass from Barreto, the line and the angle from McCallum, and then Barreto following up and having the gas to get into the sticks.
And a successful conversion, so 7 points to 3, both sides then with points on the board, and that will certainly lift the confidence of the Boroughmuir players, and delight Graham Shule as well, having conceded the penalty and gone 3-0 down, but hitting back with the converted try just moments later. That just bounces awkwardly. Andrews is after it, he's able to pick up and evade the initial challenges coming his way.
Roll 5.
As Boroughmuir now protecting this lead have it with their try scorer Barreto. McCallum and Barreto have just understanding in the game, as we've seen in previous fixtures involving Boroughmuir.
No, it's not. No, it's
and
not.
certainly coming good in attack on this occasion. Barreto then, box kick, and that just finds touch down close towards the 10 metre line. Harvey Elms just covering that tram line, and that's David Chang-Len raising the flag just down in front of the main stand. A throw in for Watsonians with 7.5 minutes gone. Boroughmuir lead 7-3.
Yeah, well dealt with Tristan Andrews in the end. You could see the kick-off really affected by the wind, so couldn't get a pod up to catch it. Actually floated quite awkwardly and then hit the ground, and Andrews did really well not only to pick the ball up but make ground, got back to his feet to make another metre or two, and Barreto with the clearance.
Graham's throw in again, that deflected and comes back on the Boroughmuir side, and a chance now for Barreto. He leathers one right-footed downfield, that bounces just short of the 22. That's going to trundle into touch in that 22. How about that?
And it's a 50-22 as well, so it'll be Boroughmuir throwing. Really clever play, really get up, win the line out against the throw, and then because it's turnover possession, Loman McPherson is up in the attacking line and the space is in behind him. That's the idea, but the execution has to be spot on as well. It was from Barreto. Excellent kick it long, kick the top of the ball, make it spin, catch the wind, and you get the reward of the throw-in.
And I think he just could see there was just enough space in behind that he would be delighted with that outcome, as Mackenzie feeds the ball in towards the front of the throw. So Boroughmuir have the attacker to save that 50-22 conjured up by the man just behind the drive at the moment. Colleen Barreto, try scorer. It's back now with Mackenzie. Mackenzie thought about the little offload there, it just dribbles away from him. Perhaps he had the opportunity to bring this scrum half into play, although he was slightly isolated on the blind side. Play breaks down just 5 metres from the Watsonians line as Boroughmuir have knocked forward. But yeah, that was a perfect example of how effective this new law can be. 50-22 from a line out, a Watsonians throw in, worked its way back to the Boroughmuir scrum half, and a beautiful kick downfield.
Yeah, it's so difficult for the backfield to be covered when you're starting in an attacking position, but the execution has to be there, and it was from Barreto. Watsonians did really well from the line out actually to stop the maul. Boroughmuir Bears couldn't get the maul going, it was disrupted, and it forced Craig Mackenzie to splinter off the maul on his own, and then unfortunately for him was turned over.
Ron Frostwick feeding the ball in. I think he had a quick glance to the referee, who then awarded the penalty to Watsonians from the scrum. So that'll be a chance for them to clear 5-6 metres from their own line and get play further down the park.
The penalty is against your number 3, not driving straight. You don't walk up and get in the face of the player like that.
Players just backing off to the edge of the 22 as the Watsonians captain and his team in conversation alongside the referee Ian Kenny.
There's Craig Kenny put in his place by the referee. Just let me sort it out. Craig Kenny's a Boroughmuir captain, co-captain. He's an influential player for this side. He just does all the hard work, and every single breakdown, every single competition, every single challenge, he'll be in it. So that wouldn't be the last time we see him having a word with Ian Kenny, I don't think.
No, he's he's built up that sort of confidence over years. Of course, a time at Gala, a Boroughmuir Cup winner back in 2015 when they defeated Hawick. He was part of the squad then. That almost a slight overthrow, but it comes good for Watsonians. Well, the referee had spotted the Watsonians knock on as Campbell Wilson was trying to accelerate up and beyond halfway. Ian Kenny brings play back for the handling infringement, and play will resume with the scrummage close towards the Watsonians 10. 15 metres in from touch. Remains a fine afternoon overhead. and it's been an intriguing opening 11 and a half minutes of the contest, with Barretto's try separating the sides 7-3 to the visitors.
Yeah, you can see the effect the wind's having on the line out, maybe changing the call or having to change it late, or maybe even being forced to throw closer to the front of the line out so the wind has less effect, therefore it's sometimes easier to get up and challenge.
Set!
So it's going to be something that the players are going to have to manage and adapt to as the game goes on.
Barretto with FOSROC alongside him. Barretto is able to pick up, brings Simprich into play. Slight misunderstanding there as Barretto is able just to try and at least challenge for the ball. FOSROC though with a quick box kick, and again that's going to find touch. That just enters the 22 there from FOSROC. So once more a very well executed box kick from the scrum half, and it pays dividends for the attacking side because Watsonians will have the throw in on the edge of that 22, just a fraction inside.
Yeah, another excellent kick from the scrum half this time. Rowan FOSROC again kicking the top of the ball to make it spin quickly away from the cover and find touch. It was from inside his own half, so we'll have the throw in, but again it's from a
get the ball in and play rugby.
Ian Kenny telling him to hurry up again. It's good to, we like to see that tempo, but again it came from that turnover from Simprich's pass, just hitting the deck, and then Watsonians knew the space was in behind and FOSROC found it.
Graham again finding men just at the front of the line, as Chris mentioned there, just perhaps the most straightforward option as FOSROC again brings inside centre, got C into play, but Watsonians now are in trouble because Simprich has managed to snatch, and away he goes, and the fly half from inside his own half of the field will not be caught, and Martin Simprich in the starting lineup this afternoon. A lung-busting effort there, 13 minutes on the clock, and the half-backs come good. Scrum half Barretto with the opening try, Simprich with the second, and Boroughmuir are flying. They lead by 12 points to 3 with the kick to come.
Well, Simprich does the long lung-busting run, chased all the way by Harvey Arms, had the pace to get a bit. Watch this for an offload from young Duncan Munn, the 13. He reacts quickly there, and just one movement, it maybe drifts forward in all honesty, but in one movement he was quick enough to identify the mistake, get up, get on the ball, flick it away to Simprich, who was running a brilliant support line. He had the pace to get there. Really good play and speed of thought. Watch this again, it's from Duncan Munn, the 13. On the ball, ball's away, quick as flash, and Simprich is the rest.
Simprich will attempt to convert his own try. No surprise that he asked the water carrier just for a quick drink before placing the ball on the tee.
Try and lower the heart rate a wee bit. Buy yourself as much time as you can, Martin. That's the key.
He's on kicking duties this afternoon.
You very rarely miss the conversion of your own kick or your own try. Not to put the jinx on it, but.
And you think back to watching Glasgow yesterday, and their fly half coming out of the blocks very early on with a converted try in the game. Simprich, and that drifts just inside the posts. And on an afternoon like this, a kick like the one Simprich has landed, not an easy one to deliver. There's extra 2 points, but he's managed it nonetheless. And 14 points to 3 the scoreline, and how that must lift the confidence of Graham Shield, because that was an opportunist score, but quite rightly you pointed at the contribution of Duncan Munn.
Yeah, and again it's come up set piece turnover, as again that wind's causing havoc with the ball in the air at the kick-off. I think Jordan Edmonds has done really well to get in the end of it eventually, but it's so difficult when the ball's moving in the air.
Yeah, Ross Thompson landed an early try and conversion for Glasgow in their victory over the Sharks yesterday. Martin Simprich inside the opening 15 minutes has done likewise, as Barretto under pressure there from FOSROC. The referee though is going to penalise Watsonians, as Barretto was taking his time with again controlling the ball with the studs of the boot to try and get the best angle to deliver a box kick, and we know now how dangerous he can be with box kicks even as far down as his own 22.
Yeah, Rowan FOSROC penalised there. He actually recognised that the ball was out, but what he was penalised for was attacking or playing the man, not the ball. If he attacked the ball and picked the ball up, he'd be fine, but he actually tackled Barretto, his opposite number, who didn't have the ball. And again, Boroughmuir can just take the sting out the game a little bit here. We keep saying that they have the win behind, so building a lead could become really important this first half for the Bears. They're already on the way to doing that, 14 points to 3 in the first 15 minutes.
And of course they eat into the deficit from the first match between the sides, with the small matter of the Alan McNish Trophy up for grabs as well, with Watsonians coming into the game 36-13 winners. in the previous match, the reverse fixture at Megatland, so would have been an aggregate scoreline. Boroughmuir aware that they've some points to accrue before they can start thinking realistically about lifting that trophy at the end of this game. As watching on just down below our commentary position here, Craig McKenzie just palm of the right hand up as he delivers some instructions to those in the line, and forward comes the loose head, and there's Mike Jones in, as we mentioned, for Ruston Bar with the instructions. So the throw-in will be delivered by McKenzie. His opposite number has had one or two difficulties with the throw-in, and that again is palmed back and won by Watsonians, and they've got bodies in the ball. Frostwick again is able just to mop things up after some good work there from Loman McPherson. Recycled again through the hands of the fly half Reynolds, who opened the scoring with an early penalty goal, as that's a flat pass there from Frostwick, running into trouble as Justin Andrews just adjusted his defensive cover position.
Stay on.
Frostwick again squats down, delivers the pass.
Tackle!
Boroughmuir remain solid defensively as they move that sort of mobile roadblock closer to the right hand side of the pitch. Frostwick electing to play it back infield. Again a touch for Reynolds. Watsonians have got players, 3-4 players across on this right hand side, but elect to go downfield central, and it's Barreto with hands on the ball now as Boroughmuir steal prevents Watsonians gaining ground, provides an opportunity for the visitors to kick deep inside that 22, and the chase is good as well. So Watsonians under pressure now, 5 metres from their own line. The home side have possession once again, but are deep inside their 22, looking to recycle and find a secure and solid exit. As Boroughmuir are playing with some confidence now. Both their half-backs scoring tries inside the opening 15 minutes of the contest. 14 points to 3. Box kick is charged down there, but players just in that in-goal area, preventing any further damage to be done by Watsonians. And Ian Kenny right up with the action, watching on there. But Frostwick, I think, will be relieved because he wasn't quite in the position that he wanted to be. Tried to deliver the box kick.
This is a charge down, isn't it, on Frostwick? It's such a difficult corner to get out with the way the wind's blowing in there. You can see that wonderful turnover prior to this from Craig McKenzie in the centre of the field. The Boroughmuir hooker stripped Watsonians. Tom Brown put boot to ball to put Watsonians in that bottom corner. It's so hard to get out of, even there with the penalty, just managing up to the 22. So it's good management of the game by Boroughmuir, making Watsonians get out of that corner. Be frustrated to give the penalty away though, because that makes it slightly easier.
Yeah, Frostwick was almost starved of space there as he won possession of the ball and tried to clear. Watsonians though have the throw in here. Lost Graham once again, looking to deliver, looking to find Watsonians' hands. He does on this occasion. Boroughmuir again remain solid and disciplined on the edge of the Watsonians 22. Frostwick works his way forward, has a bit more room to launch the box kick this time. Down it goes, underneath it Tom Brown, able to gather just on halfway, makes a few yards inside the Watsonians half of the field, but the home side winning the penalty. Players off their feet, and Boroughmuir will have to retreat back into their own half, but leading by 14 points to 3, and we've almost played the full opening quarter of the game.
Yeah, it's a penalty we see often in the game. The team who have to retreat to win possession, it's very difficult to get back and then get your body into position that's legal over the top of the ball. Tom Brown did really well to beat the first tackler and get slightly in behind, but then the momentum's coming with the Watsonians pack as they hit that ruck. As it is an excellent kick right into the corner. I thought Glenn Folds the man to keep it in, but it's an excellent kick. But yeah, that when you retreat back to try and clear a ruck from a kick receipt, it's very difficult to keep that possession. And Boroughmuir Bears were penalised for sealing off. That's an excellent kick. What's that? 5 metres from the Boroughmuir Bears goal line. Other than the first attack that led to the 3 points, this is Watsonians' best opportunity.
Yeah, by far and away their best chance in the last 17 minutes or so of the contest. So we'll see what Graham can do. Again, he delivers towards the front of the line. They work it down the blind side. Have they managed to get some ground into that 22 over the 5 metre line. The referee has whistled there. It's been Sam Daly's effort down the blind side that has just opened things up. We'll get to see it again. I think it's been held up by the referee.
Number 8 has gotten under it, yeah.
And I think it may be his opposite number that's got underneath him.
Well, that's a quick line out, isn't it? Clever line out. Oh, that's close there. Sam Daly, really clever line out play. He's been outstanding, Sam Daly.
Tristan Andrews was the defensive line of cover there, so the two number 8s coming together, but Sam Daly so close to the score.
It's a brilliant defensive effort, wasn't it, by Andrews and Barreto as well. I think just managed to get under the ball.
Ready? Time back on. Behind the kicker,
goal line
guys,
drop
behind
out.
the kicker.
Good to see that innovation in attack, but desperation in defence. Here we go again. Watch, everybody's expecting the drive, and then the shift round the front. Sam Daly comes in, Barreto the tackle. I think it's Jones as well, makes the initial tackle. Watch Tristan Andrews coming in, gets his arm and his leg under there. Oh, it looks like it's the line. Absolutely, should really be a try, I think, to Watsonians, but we'll play on.
14 points to 3 then, a real scare for the Boroughmuir Bears as Watsonians are back in possession now. Frostwick on there towards Reynolds, thought about the pass, tried to deceive Barreto, but no immediate advantage there for Watsonians as Boroughmuir were penalised for not releasing the tackle player, and Reynolds will look to kick this one into the right hand corner as Watsonians attack the bottom left from a Boroughmuir point of view. David Changlen raises the flag. It will be another throw in for Watsonians. This time it's going to be by the stand side, still inside the 22, and they remain chasing this game. 14-3 down.
Yeah, the line is slightly further out, but you can really, you'll feel the net effect here of the previous line out that, well, it didn't eventually lead to a try, but with Sam Daly peeling around the front, his second guess now from Boroughmuir Bears. Do they expect the drive? Do they expect the peel around the front? Do they have to cover that move again? So it's a really good attack from Watsonians. Let's see what happens this time.
Ross Graham once again the throw towards the front of the line. He then joins in the drive. They've got a bit of distance to cover inside that 22. Frostwick again is in position if required. The ball will come by way of the scrum half now. Little cute piece of play involving the half-backs there as Frostwick once again goes in, looks to bring the forwards into play. Loose head is Harrison Courtney this afternoon for Watsonians as they're gaining ground inside that 22, closing in on the try line. Once more Courtney will go in, recycle ball underneath those posts. Watsonians making ground, and over they go for the try. That was a case of just sheer persistence there, involving a clutch of forwards, and they're lifted off the deck. And just identifying the try scorer there, Chris, but a fine effort.
Is it Ross Graham? I think there's between him and Lewis Ball, I think are both getting as close to the ball as possible. I think it is Ross Graham who got it in the end. Good work, isn't it? Courtney carrying hard. There was a Loman McPherson came back on the switch play from Rowan Frostwick's pass, and you can see Ross Graham number 2, Lewis Ball outside him. A little bit of footwork from Ross Graham. It is Ross Graham's try, driven over by Ball in the back row, and it's a good response from Watsonians.
Yeah, when you think how close Daly was, being denied moments earlier, another line out, a solid drive after winning the ball in the front of the line, and Reynolds now will look to land extra 2 points, which he does, no problems at all. So we've got a close game here. Watsonians back to within 4 points of their near neighbours. Watsonians in 10, Boroughmuir 14.
Well, from being stuck in that bottom corner in the wind, Watsonians did really well there, but they had a helping hand from the ill-discipline for Boroughmuir. Boroughmuir conceded about 3 penalties in a row, which led to Watsonians getting field position, and then just a variation of the attack, the peel around the front of the line to start with, and then the second one, the drive, and then Ross Graham, who works really hard off the ball to get round and get that try. Good work rate, good effort from Watsonians.
14 points to 10 then for Boroughmuir Bears. A 4-point game. Look to recycle again. Watsonians from the edge of the 22. Frostwick puts plenty height on that ball. Won by Barreto. On towards Andrews. Andrews a little bit of green plane to run into and carries the 10 metre line. Barreto just in behind him. That just bypasses the Boroughmuir back row forwards with Barreto in position and now in possession. Back towards Simprich. Pass back towards the halfway line, and Boroughmuir again carrying through their inside centre. McCallum reversed and back on towards Craig McKenzie. Again making some ground. Barretto almost barged off it, goes in for a second bite though, and Boroughmuir again have secured possession of the ball. Barretto over it. And it's going to be just picked up there by the tight head prop Martin McGinley.
No more chat, guys.
Barretto again looking to recycle, a little sidestep on towards Simplitz. Close quarters just inside the Watsonians half of the field. Watsonians have strayed offside, so Boroughmuir have the penalty advantage at the moment. It's back now towards Simplitz, and again that just ricocheting off the ankles there.
12 and 14.
The Boroughmuir backs, and they'll come back for that penalty for the offside decision just a few moments ago, signalled by the referee Ian Kenny. And that certainly the try and the manner of the try will focus the minds of the Boroughmuir players, and will give Watsonians a platform now to build.
Yeah,
it is, but Watsonians
stop talking to me has now turned into I'm telling you to tell them to stop talking.
I told you that wouldn't be the last time Ian Kenny was speaking to Craig Kenny. That's the final warning this time for some of the interaction between the referee and the co-captain. But yeah, where we said Boroughmuir would be frustrated at the concession of 2 or 3 penalties that allowed Watsonians the field position to score that try, Watsonians will be really frustrated with that. Their defensive line was in good shape, it was excellent. Watsonians couldn't reset enough players in attack to cause a threat, and then I think I said it was 12 and 11 Watsonians offside, Coetzee and Smith, that just gives an easy out for Boroughmuir to find the corner.
McKenzie then again with the throw in, just short of the 22, picked up immediately then, and Boroughmuir again trying to make some ground up towards the edge of the 22. Solid tackling coming in as Barretto again mops up. That was almost a misunderstanding there. The ball goes a begging, but Keddy's done enough to get it back to his scrum half. Tries to weave his way out of dangerous positions there. Simplitz on to Andrews now. He's hauled to the ground, and Barretto now in behind. A box kick again, very deliberate. He didn't put as much on that, but it's gathered by the Watsonians cover defence. Launched downfield, can only find Boroughmuir hands back, deflected there off Jordan Edmonds. Couldn't take that, that was coming to him at a real rate of knots there. So they will knock on, but Boroughmuir the first to infringe with the handling error on that 10 metre line. So it will be an opportunity from the scrummage for Watsonians. Here's another replay of the score, Chris.
Yeah, you can see Ross Graham's footwork just pre-contact, just gets him to the outside shoulder of the defender, then Lewis Ball drives him over. It came after a bit of sustained pressure, really, wasn't it, from Watsonians, who've done well to get back into this match. Bit of a scrum here, centre field, and Boroughmuir will be frustrated because you could understand Tom Brown's thinking from that counter-attack to get the ball into Jordan Edmonds' hands. Jordan Edmonds, a big left winger, he causes absolute mayhem every time he touches the ball so far in the FOSROC Super 6. Such a hard player to put down, but the pass was fired and Edmonds couldn't quite hold it, and it's knocked on in midfield. But it's a player you definitely want to get the ball to if you're a Boroughmuir Bears fan.
Frostwick just retrieving the ball there as the referee will reset the scrummage. Having a conversation and particularly looking at in the direction of Ross Graham.
Please, Boroughmuir. Here's the mark. Yes, closer. Yes. I need you get your height better and you get that bind up. Thank you.
Frostwick again then waits patiently. Barretto with his hands on his hips.
Crouch!
And this by the Watsonians 10 metre line. Central position and attacking platform, and Frostwick then feeds the ball into the scrum. Sam Daly at number 8 for Watsonians as they try to get a little bit of movement there. Frostwick waiting patiently, then he is able to grab, reverse there, knock forward, signals the referee. Reynolds tries to scamper up towards that 10 metre line, tackled well though by Rhys Tate. Boroughmuir win another penalty as Watsonians fly in off their feet, and Boroughmuir have the platform now inside the Watsonians half, fairly central.
Here's Angus Williams clearly coming in off his feet, wasn't it, after Joe Reynolds picked up the loose pass to take it forward. Really good scrum prior to that, really. It was good to see a scrum staying up and being really combative and competitive. I think Boroughmuir really dug in hard. Watsonians tried on 2 or 3 occasions to get that second shove, and every time it was met with equal resistance. This is what the penalty is for. Reynolds running out, and if you watch just on the right of your screen, Angus Williams comes in off his feet, the clear out just there, off his feet, It's a silly one again, because Watsonians actually had possession. There wasn't a particular threat from Boroughmuir Bear at the breakdown, so he gives Simprich the opportunity with a win behind to stretch the lead.
Yeah, Simprich 2 conversions. He converted his own try and Colleen Barretto's try a little bit earlier on in the half. And Watsonians, well, they've relied on Joe Reynolds to slot over penalty and converting the Ross Graham try. But this then to extend Boroughmuir's advantage in the game to 7 points if successful. Plumb centre on that 10 metre line. Here he goes then, clean strike. Is it the legs? That's just wide off the uprights there. So Simprich will be a little disappointed with that, but again an indication of the deceptive strength off the wind, and missed opportunity for further points to be added to the Boroughmuir tally. They remain 14-10 in front.
Yeah, we're disappointed with that one, just chipped underneath it a little bit too much, but again, you now have Watsonians still have to get out of their own territory into this stiff breeze, and Barretto's going to field the counter-attack.
Yeah, flat kick on towards Andrews from that Barretto pass, runs into Loman McPherson, forces him back, just down towards the 10 metre line, then into touch, just down below us.
That's a frustrating penalty. It's a difficult penalty actually. You could clearly hear Ian Kenny shouting tackle, which means that the tackling players have to release, but they kept driving Jordan Edmonds towards the touchline. But depending on how quickly Ian Kenny calls a tackle, he said the initial tackle's made in the 5 metre line, so they have to release immediately. But you as a defender, especially 2 defenders in there, you're almost taught to drive the player into touch as well, but you have to respect, as soon as that tackle's called, to release, to let the player go. But it's a difficult thing to do when you're only a metre or so from the touchline.
Throw in now for Boroughmuir and for Craig McKenzie. There's spectators inside Myers side this afternoon, many of them not electing to sit in the stand to try and enjoy the sunshine as it brightened up somewhat down by pitch level. Again, a well executed throw in from McKenzie. He has the ball tucked under his left arm. Boroughmuir have got some momentum with this driving maul inside the 22. Barretto just in behind, and again looks to have changed direction somewhat, and the acceleration takes Boroughmuir up closer towards that 5 metre line, almost hugging the touchline. Barretto takes a step back. It's taken on by the Boroughmuir number 8 Andrews. Watsonians again very alert to the danger posed by this Boroughmuir side, and Barretto certainly having a look, but just allowing the forwards to continue. Boroughmuir have a penalty advantage with Kieran Watt straying into an offside position, so the penalty advantage was short-lived there, but they'll come back for the second row forward straying offside. Boroughmuir with the penalty then inside the 22, and they continue to ask questions of the Watsonians defence.
Yeah, the Watsonians defence will be frustrated again with that penalty. It seems to be a theme of the first half that the concession of penalties having an effect, as it always does in the game. But Watsonians don't have to realise that their defence is good. It's stopping Boroughmuir in its tracks. Ross Graham went with a really aggressive tackle on Tristan Andrews. Tristan Andrews did well to maintain possession, so there's no need there really for Watsonians to stray offside. It was Kieran Watt, I think, he was penalised. But Boroughmuir are looking after possession well. I wonder if we see a drive here.
Another McKenzie throw in. Well, he's in position 5-6 metres short of the line, and they'll be aware that he can perhaps splinter away towards that right hand side if there's any room at all. They're beginning to work it forward towards the line. There's the raised arm, and it's going to be a penalty try as the referee just works his way underneath those posts, and Boroughmuir celebrate a third try coming inside this first half with still 7 minutes of the first half left to play. And from an attacking point of view, Boroughmuir, it's coming good for them this afternoon at their near neighbours Watsonians.
Yeah, it's good control, wasn't it? You know, said that they didn't at any point panic there. They looked after possession, they maintained possession well. Even although the Watsonians defence was good, it was a concession of penalties that kept allowing the momentum for Boroughmuir. There's actually been a yellow card as well. I think it's Lewis Ball who's been yellow carded in the concession of that penalty try. I think Boroughmuir Bears would have scored it anyway. It looked like there's Jordan Edmonds, the left winger. Maybe that's why it's been awarded as a penalty try. I'm not sure you can have wingers scoring driving maul tries, but Lewis Ball, the Watsonians number 6, and he's shown the yellow card as well, so it's a double whammy for the home side.
So 21 points to 10 then, and a very fruitful visit inside the Watsonians 22 as the match restarts, and Tristan Andrews is able to gather the ball, read the flight of the ball and carry it outside of that 22, with Barretto in behind him again. Graham Shield will be a happier man at the moment as he watches on now. Players like Kerry looking to continue the forward attacking drives, which have taken them outside the 22. Barretto will deliver the box kick. Harvey Elms comes in, he's able to read that ball, gathering it into the breadbasket, coming onto that at the rate of knots. Frostwick in behind, on towards Reynolds, now out involving the Watsonians midfield. Boroughmuir are stretched across the 10-metre line inside their own half of the field as Watsonians recycle and play back infield, and there's Frostwick again on towards Reynolds. Good hands here from Watsonians. Tackle made there by Tristan Andrews. Kerry still on the ground at the moment, but Watsonians are penalised. Rather, Boroughmuir penalised, Watsonians winning the penalty, I should say, on that 10. And a chance for them to hit back.
That's another close one, Stuart, isn't it? I mean, Ian Kenny, the referees, they've only got a split second to make decisions, and you can understand it. Tristan Andrews did really well. He made the tackle on Angus Williams, jumped up to his feet, and then not only he actually won the possession, but it's whether he was off his feet when he won it. It's a real fine line. We've got the benefit of the replay, obviously. There's the low chop tackle from Andrews. He pops to his feet, and is he still holding his body weight? Oh, I think he's won that possession before he loses his body weight. So fine call. Number 8's had a fantastic season. Such a dynamic ball carrier, great in contact, quick as well. And there's Lewis Ball in the sin bin. Still can't believe it.
And Andrews himself, we mentioned Barretto. Andrews is another player of the match in one of the previous rounds of the competition. Watsonians, well, they'll look to bring Graham into play once more from this situation, but Frostwick is not going to be the drive that produced the Graham try earlier in the half. Again, they work it through the hands of the scrum half. Andrews is stretched defensively there as Watsonians making ground deep inside that 22. They'll look to recycle and do the 3 players across on that left hand side, and Boroughmuir again remain disciplined defensively as Watsonians were trying to find the ball, work its way out towards Rue Smith on that left wing. Frostwick again squats down, tries to bring Reynolds back into play. Reynolds back on the edge of the 22. Long loop pass out towards this right hand side. Marvellous offload there from the lock forward, and the power there. He's managed to ground the ball well. David Chang Leng had raised the flag, and you could see coming across was Loman McPherson. He was running out of room. Good move involving Badenhorst as well, continuing the move.
What a tackle. What a cover tackle. I think it was Robbie McCallum. Yeah, on Badenhorst. I hope we have another look at this. This is a fantastic tackle. I think it is Robbie McCallum. The long pass comes over from Rue Smith, this one here. And then initially Jordan Edmonds does well to make that tackle. The ball's back inside Smith. Badenhorst to Lewis Berg. It's Robbie McCallum just driving Lewis Berg into touch. What a tackle. Technically wasn't great, his head's on the wrong side, but effectively it was effective in terms of got him into touch.
Watsonians then remain camped inside this Boroughmuir 22, but back, well, the referee had already whistled there for the infringement. Jordan Edmonds was looking to accelerate beyond the 22 metre line, having received the pass from the scrum half. So this, you feel, an important stage in the match for Watsonians, because it would be something of a blow to Boroughmuir if they were concede again so close to half time, having been asked to do so much defensive work, and it's been very much a rear guard action from the visiting side for the last little while.
Absolutely. So have another look at that. Robbie McCallum, his head should be on the right hand side of Lewis Berg, not in front. His technique a little bit wrong, but you can see he's managed to drive Lewis Berg into touch just before he touches the ground. And with that effort and determination in defence, it's going to be difficult for the 14 men of Watsonians to score, but you're right, it's a crucial moment in the game just before half time.
Again, some disruption in the scrummage, but Watsonians will have the feed once more, and picked up there by Frostwick. So another reset scrum as we approach the final moments of this first half.
Well, usually when scrums spin at such a rate, there's something wrong, but we've gone for a reset, and I think it's more so because Watsonians have only got 7 on the scrum. We're now going to add Lomas McPherson just onto the blind side at the far side, so that's a warning shot for Watsons there. So by doing that, they're looking to have a more stable platform to launch off, but obviously lose a back in attack.
Back to their feet. Ian Canny just in the middle of the front threes again. And they'll look to reset once more. Last play then off the first half. Boroughmuir with Barreto, Simprich and a penalty try on the board. Watsonians with the try coming by way of their hooker Ross Graham. Frostwick told to feed the ball into the scrum, at the base of the scrum then, on towards outside centre. Again Angus Williams tries to make some ground further into that 22. Frostwick again with the recycled ball, still central, and another great tackle there coming by Boroughmuir cover defence as the referee has signalled a knock-on advantage that was short-lived. That will conclude the first half, and it's been a first half where we've seen certainly Boroughmuir look very effective going forward with their halfbacks scoring a try apiece, a penalty try also awarded to the visitors. Ross Graham replying for Watsonians, and the scoreline at half-time is 21 points to 10 in favour of the visiting side. So Graham Shield will have plenty of positive words, I would think, and words of encouragement to pass on to his team. But a word of warning as well that they can ill afford to give away too many penalties inside their own 22, because Watsonians have already shown how threatening they can be. 21 points to 10 then for Boroughmuir Bears. They're looking for their third win of the season in the shadow of the Pentlands this afternoon. But Watsonians, we've seen more than a glimpse or two in the first 40 of the damage that they can do. Intriguing 32nd 40 minutes awaits, with Watsonians trailing here at Myerside. Watsonians Rugby 10, Boroughmuir Bears 21. So this was the marvellous 1-2 involving McCallum and Karim Barreto. Barreto underneath the post for the score, and it was really the timing of the 1-2 here. Scrum half inside centre, and scrum half finishing it off for an excellent try. And this all about the positioning there of Duncan Munn on the deck, on towards Martin Simprich. What acceleration he showed there, and Harvey Elms just could not get to him. They're a perfect example on the deck of how good that Duncan Munn offload was.
Everyone here at Watsonians says you would like to share their thanks to our principal partners and sponsors of Harveston. Hi, lovely. All good? Please do. Hi.
Jordan Evans with the ball.
Welcome back. A dominant performance by the visitors in the first half here at Mireside. Watsonians are behind by 10 points to 21. Boroughmuir ahead. Lou playing a very, very fine first half. What a 40 minutes of rugby it has been. And as you come to us now, the sun has just gone away. It's been a beautiful day. The wind is flying around here. It's pretty bad, but it's a sunny day, a lovely day, and a happy day if you're a Boroughmuir fan after 40 minutes.
Yeah, they'll be content with that. I mean, they do have the wind behind. We keep talking about the wind, but it is strong. Would you say it's 11-point wind? It probably is. I mean, they'll be really happy to get ahead because there will be times they'll be spending their own third in the second half. But they've been really good defensively. They've been well organised. Didn't get off to the greatest start. Watsonians looked sharp and kicked a penalty to go 3-0. But thereafter, 3 tries, and yeah, they've been certainly good for the lead.
Well, let's talk about some of the tries that that Boroughmuir started off incredibly well. Kaleem Barreto, who's been almost the player of the tournament because he's been so dominant in a lot of the games, and he took his try incredibly well.
Yeah, he's been consistent time and time again as an individual, but also as a scrum half and a scrum half basics. This is an example of what he can do as an individual, but it's actually a team try. Field position came first from the line, and then there's a really clever return play there to Kaleem, who then gave it to Robbie McCallum, who cut through the line at a fantastic angle, got his hands free, and then look at the speed of Kaleem Barreto on his support line. He doesn't have to break stride, he hits it at full pace, and because he does that, because he accelerates onto the ball in behind, it takes him away from the defence. It really is a very good try because there were so many intricacies in it. This is a turnover try. Duncan Munn does really well, reacts quickest, pops it. I think it does go forward to Simpridge, but Simpridge does really well from 65 metres out to sprint home under pressure from Harvey Arms. But it's just a speedy thought of, again, coming from a turnover, but just moving it quickly. Don't just dive in the ball and not do anything about it. Actually get the ball, get it away, keep the ball alive, hand to hand. And a great finish from the number 10 as well. Now,
Watsonians might have felt a little bit hard done by because the ball might have gone forward, but they certainly felt hard done by when this next thing happened, because we reckon this is a try that wasn't actually given, didn't we? Just before Ross Graham finally got over for a try, but in the corner there, it was very, very close, and the ref can only call it as he sees it and doesn't get the chance to use this. There you can see Sam Daly just gets it down under pressure from Barreto and Andrews, but Ian Kenny gets one look at that. It's very, very quick, and there wasn't a great appeal on the field either from the Watsonians after that, but they did get into that position. They maintained possession down there, and the try eventually came. A fantastic effort for both sides, really, in terms of the intricacy of the play around the front of the line and then the determination in defence. The try came moments after it, really. It was Ross Graham that scored it after some kind of heavy work close to the line, and what's good about this is just his footwork. Ross Graham gets it there, a step to the outside, shoulder the defender, and then loose ball drives him over. So that came moments after Sam Daly's effort. Yeah, real great pressure from Watsonians there, and Boroughmuir are kind of standing on the line there, but there really was a real intensity to Watsonians' attack at this point of the game, and so that got them back into it. At that point it was 8 points to 14, and of course it was there was a conversion as well. But then towards the end of the half there, penalty try, Jordan Edmonds it was, the winger, who went over, and he shouldn't even have been under there, but yeah, penalty try, fair enough, you reckon?
I think so. I think because it's moving so quickly towards the line, it's Lewis Ball that comes in and tackles it. I think the try would have been scored anyway. I think Jordan Edmonds would maybe have wanted another try to add to the huge tally already has. I don't think he'll have many driving maul tries, but you can see it was brought down illegally close to the line that gave the penalty try for Rugby. And then this is a fantastic bit of defending from Rugby Cam. Technically wrong. He should really make this tackle as he comes in now with his left shoulder, get his head in behind and drive Lewis Bergen to touch. He manages to go with his right, but he still gets the power to look at the effort from Lewis Berg especially as well. I mean, it's millimetre stuff really. It does get the ball down, but his foot's hit the line before that, so Robbie McCallum's effort and determination, outstanding defence. Technically could be better from a safety aspect, but he saved his side a try there.
He certainly has as well, and we know Watsonians, to have any chance of reaching the final, they have to get a bonus point win and lots of points as well this afternoon, so a huge 40 minutes for them coming up.
Yeah, they can't panic, because when they've been in the game they've scored their points. I think Boroughmuir have had most of that game. The start and maybe that 5-6 minute period before Watsonians scored has been their time in the game. That's when they've got their points, so there will be opportunities in the second half. They can't force it too much, but Boroughmuir are a tough nut to crack. They've been on the wrong side of the result quite a few times. Boroughmuir unfairly at times. I wonder if they're getting the right side of this one.
Yeah, we've seen Boroughmuir of course falling away in games that they've dominated, but they'll be sore when they went down to Melrose and it happened. They dominated the first half and lost the match. They'll be determined to close this one out.
Yeah, and Watsonians will start with 14 men again just for the early part of the second half, so it's another reason for Boroughmuir to strike early in that second half and apply more pressure on the home side.
Do not go anywhere. A huge second half coming up after this short break. Welcome back to Myerside on a fine afternoon here in Edinburgh. It's an interesting first half of rugby. Boroughmuir Bears have the advantage by 21 points to 10. Watsonians of course have to get a bonus point win to have any chance of featuring in the final in 2 weeks time in the Edinburgh Stadium, just on the shadow of Murrayfield. A huge 40 minutes coming up in the company of our commentary team, Chris Patterson and Stuart McFarlane.
Thanks very much, Doogie. Yes, this afternoon a real autumnal feel around Myerside, and as Doogie mentioned, a huge 40 minutes for both these sides as Watsonians want a mighty 40 minutes to try and eat into the deficit that was built up by Boroughmuir in the first 40 minutes. Of course they need a bonus point win and a healthy win as well if they've any aspirations of finishing in the top two in the league. And of course there's the small matter, as we mentioned, of the Alan McNeish Trophy, and Watsonians winning the reverse fixture earlier in the season by 36 points to 13. Well, Boroughmuir starting to eat into that points deficit, because it of course is an aggregate scoreline determines the end destination, the whereabouts of the trophy for the next season. Watsonians first out of the dressing room onto the field of play. Boroughmuir very quickly behind them, as it was at the start of the contest. Martin Simprich, one of the last players out of the dressing room, and he will get this second half underway, scoring and converting his own try, the second of 3 Boroughmuir tries. Watsonians of course starting the second period down to 14 men. That yellow card, loose ball, I think 3.5 minutes or so left on the yellow card before they'll be back to a full complement of players. Martin Simprich alongside Ian Kenny, our match referee for the start of this second period. So as well as local bragging rights in the Alan McNish Trophy, the small matter of FOSROC Super 6 points up for grabs as well. And that's gathered just on the edge of the 22. Very well read there, as Watsonians are now able to feed it back towards Frostwick at scrum half. Trying to build from outside the 22, losing possession there. Offside decision given against Boroughmuir, and that spillage. No further damage done for Watsonians, and Frostwick scampers back with the ball. Reynolds will look to angle the kick downfield. Chris Patterson has made his way back from pitch side up to our commentary position at the back of the stand here, and that's a bright opening for Watsonians as they trail by 21 points to 10, but a good attacking platform for them now.
Yeah, it was a great take from the kick from Sam Daly, coming forward with the ball blown away from him into the wind, diving and taking off his bootlaces. So a great take from the number 8, who has again been impressive. But then Boroughmuir straight offside, and it's in the first half. You've got to keep your discipline, especially with that wind behind, because one kick, one penalty can make such a massive territorial difference. And you can already see that from receiving the kick-off, really, they're now Watsonians are now attacking just inside the 22.
Ross Graham, who landed the Watsonians try from close quarters inside that 22, but they look to bring their midfield into play as well. Andrews goes back, second cover defence there. The pass brings Harrison Courtney into play there. Frostwick once again on towards Reynolds. Reynolds asking a lot there of the midfield, but they're equal to it as Frostwick again close to the touchline on the edge of the 22. Tight head, Angus Williams takes it on, recycled by Frostwick again through the hands of Reynolds. Outside centre is Angus Williams, across on this right hand side. Boroughmuir able to slow up the Watsonians charge into that 22. Frostwick in position again, looks to recycle. Boroughmuir though equal to the attack from Watsonians with good defensive cover as Reynolds now, he was half through there, required perhaps an offload, but made some good ground on towards inside centre. Fullback is Harvey Elms, still just short of that 5 metre line. Frostwick again, once more good cover defence being provided there by the Boroughmuir players as that ball just spilled out of the Watsonians' grasp, goes loose, bubbles forward, knocked on, and Watsonians, well, they started the second period brightly. They wanted to start on the front foot, trailing the match by the margin of 11 points here, Chris.
Yeah, it was just a knock on from Coetzee, that the number 12 really. Frostwick comes back down that short side. There isn't a space for him to run between the defenders, but I think it was Ewan Ferry with the tackle, and the knock on comes. And it was a brighter start from Watsonians there. Their shape and their tempo in attack was excellent. Moved it from side to side. The threat, and Joe Reynolds went through one or two occasions, but Rhys Tate, Tristan Andrews and the Boroughmuir Bears back row making a lot of important tackles.
Yeah, the 14 men of Watsonians starting brightly in this second period as Lewis Ball stands just in front of us, hands and hips watching on. Just be seconds away from returning to the field of play, to Watsonians back to a full complement of players. Another penalty's been awarded though, so Watsonians continue to press and probe. Tristan Andrews, one of the last, back to his feet and back on that Boroughmuir try line now. Now is ball going to be allowed back on before play resumes? Well, Reynolds is going to kick towards the corner there, so line out and on comes ball.
Yeah, it was another really good competitive scrum, really, and Frostwick got in behind that space, in behind the scrum to put pressure between Tristan Andrews and Barreto. Tristan Andrews picked up, and it was Campbell Wilson as quick as a flash who got over the top of the ball, won the penalty for Watsonians. And then Ross Graham, it's the ball in the line again. Badenhorst up at the front.
Badenhorst winning the ball cleanly in the line with Graham in behind. Graham sidestepping, working his way forward now. Froswick in behind, but it's still with the hooker, and he's making some ground in that zone between the 5 metre line and the try line in the bright autumn sunshine here at Myerside. But again, it's been disrupted by Boroughmuir, and Boroughmuir's defence has been very secure at the start of this second period, and they remain very composed as they get back to their feet there. But Watsonians are continuing to press and probe. Nothing for them on this occasion.
Yeah, Mike Jones did really well, the loose head, to get through the middle, get his hands in the ball, to disrupt them all, wrap it up, force a turnover. It's in there somewhere, trust me, the number one. And they walk right through. Good play, good defensive play. I think we'll spend quite a lot, we'll see quite a lot of time spent in this corner of the, or this end of the ground in the second half. But that's a defensive effort the Boroughmuir Bears need. And once the ball's held up and the ball's not come back, it's a turnover.
Barreto then with the ball tucked under his left arm. Andrews then engages at the back of the Boroughmuir scrum. Barreto shoved there by Froswick. Andrews picks up at the base, takes literally everything in his path. Kerry calling the shots there. Oh, the ball just bobbles away from Boroughmuir hands. They've knocked the ball forward there. Kerry, I think, was a little bit concerned that may well happen as he gets back to his feet. So pressure continues to mount on the Boroughmuir Bears at the moment. They'll be disappointed that a handling error so close to the line has given Watsonians this attacking platform once more.
Yeah, Andrews did really well initially up that short side, didn't he, to get on the front foot, and then it just looked as if the reset was a little bit too slow. Nobody quite sure who was going to be the first receiver, who was nominated and put their hand up to carry, and then the indecision creates a knock on. And having already just defended a 5 metre line out, Boroughmuir Bears are now going to have to defend a 5 metre scrum.
Watsonians then with Frostwick feeding the ball into the scrum. It's available just at the base, and Frostwick, it's been controlled there by the feet of Sam Daly as they try to work it up. Daly still working it from right to left, and it eventually picked up. Tackles coming in, cover defence there by the open side flanker. Rhys Tate with the tackle. Penalty though against Boroughmuir once more. This time I think Mike Jones has been the player penalised, so it will be a tap and go here from Ross Graham, directing his attentions towards Tristan Andrews and that Boroughmuir line. They continue to press and probe and pepper the line, so close. They've powered their way over. There's the raised arm off the referee, Ian Kenny. And again, from close quarters, the power of the Watsonians pack comes good, and they're back in business in this second half. 21-15 with the kick to come. Campbell Wilson, the open side flanker, is the player in the right place at the right time, and he's finished things off.
Yeah, you get the feel that was coming, wasn't it, with the time spent in there, and then the pick and the drive through. I think it's Campbell Wilson at the bottom of there. This comes after, penalty advantage, this time not taking the scrum or the line, it took a tap. Tristan Andrews made the tackle, as did Mackenzie, but then the second phase it was Campbell Wilson, who's been impressive this afternoon, especially at the start of the second half, who won the penalty that led to the scrum just prior to that. Good open side flanker, and he was low to the ground, hard to stop. That's the first point of the second half.
Reynolds will look to convert left footed kick outside the 22. Has a look up at the posts. Plenty of height in the ball, no problems at all. Straight and true. Converted try then for Watsonians, and they're back once more to within 4 points of Boroughmuir, 21 points to 17. And we get to see this again. And again, it was just coming onto the ball, very much determined to finish things off from so close to the line, and was just able to power his way past the covering Boroughmuir defence. Simprich then will restart the game. 21-17, cracking autumnal Edinburgh derby between Watsonians and Boroughmuir. Again, an excellent take for the home side from the restart. FOSROC again mops up. Boroughmuir again control their defensive cover on the edge of the 22. Back it comes and played forward, and it's back now towards Jordan Edmonds. Has a look towards the left hand side. There's an example of what Chris was talking about earlier on. He's a very, very difficult player to bring to deck. He's eventually forced out into touch there. We've not seen too much of Edmonds this afternoon, but anything in his way is almost equal to it, and he can power his way through bodies left, right and centre.
Yeah, I mean, there's three defenders, really, three good defenders it takes to stop him. McPherson, Berg and Harvey Elms, and Glenn Falls has tackled into touch by Katsea, who made the long kick downfield. But there's Jordan Edmonds, who's such a powerful baller. He's done it for years and years for Boroughmuir.
Come on, guys!
Dynamic, powerful ball carrier. Split at 13 as well in the FOSROC Super 6 earlier in the season, and did that effectively. Scored tries wherever he is, whether it's in centre, in the wing. Boroughmuir Bears will look to get his hands on the ball, and they can see why.
Watsonians again. Graham with the throw in, electing to go over the jumpers this time, so perhaps a misunderstanding there from the hooker and those in the line. And Boroughmuir now managed to at least apply some pressure to get hands on the ball once again through Beretto. Cutting infield offload there, just couldn't be gathered in by Robbie McCallum, and Watsonians perhaps a little let off as they put boot to ball and feed that downfield. Underneath it now is Glenn Falls. Falls runs into some traffic there with a cute offload taken on by Tom Brown, making some ground. Beretto just inside on towards Simprich, play around halfway, cute offload there from Jack Fisher. Now acceleration, Beretto up in support. Challenge comes in there from Katsea on the edge of the 22 now. Beretto recycles, taken on by second row forwards, Ewan Ferry again. Advantage coming the way of Boroughmuir, but that was great work once more. Taken on by Kenny, having received the pass from Edmonds inside the 22. Back it comes, and it's lost just at the vital moment there, but the referee, for I think a high challenge just on the edge of the 22, will bring play back for the penalty. And he played the period of advantage, and for all the world I thought Boroughmuir would have been in for a fourth try.
More brilliant attack, wasn't it? There's a high tackle there and Ferry by Badenhorst, just too high, but some of the offloading here, this is the end of it. Edmonds offloading to Keddy, Keddy gets it back inside to Beretto on this great scramble defence by Watsonians, but prior to that Rhys Tate was involved with a couple of brilliant offloads. Jamie Drummond, who's on in the hooker berth, split the defence up the middle as well. You can see the threat that Boroughmuir posed from the play with that high tempo, that offloading system.
Penalty for the
this is the earlier one here. Beretto again getting the ball wide. This is Rhys Tate, number 7, Stephen offloading out the back door. That one didn't go to hand. You had one after it that did go to hand, and it was Jamie Drummond who cut through. So some good examples of trying to find the space. Very little space in the front line now in the game of rugby. There's a lot of kick space to find, but there's very little space to find in that front line. But Boroughmuir managed to find it with that footwork and that offload and the good support lines. But on the whole, Watsonians' defence has been up to it as well in the second half.
I don't tell you how to take a crash.
Badenhorst in the wars is back to his feet there.
Come on, guys,
fully committed as Watsonians had to apply a rear guard action to deny Boroughmuir what would have been a fourth try and a bonus point score. 21 points to 17. We have had a try in this second half, awarded to Campbell Wilson after Watsonians had a succession of opportunities within 5 metres off the Boroughmuir line. Open side flanker scoring the second try of the afternoon for the home side. Boroughmuir have landed 3 of their own. They're going to the corner again, and a first throw in here for the replacement hooker, Jamie Drummond. And looks as if Watsonians going to the bench as well. Angus Williams, I think, is going to make way. So a little stoppage in play. You can see that Scott King is now on the field of play, sprinting on to take up his position in place of Angus Williams. So a change for the home side coming 13, 11 minutes I should say into this second half. Secure in the throw in there. Drummond joins in the drive. Squat figure just at the back. Not stationary at the moment. Drummond has it under the left arm. away he goes on towards Barreto. Again, solid challenge comes in, it works its way back to Barreto. He spins a long pass out there just in front of Falls, but again it's Jordan Edmonds that finds the angle, and Edmonds is eventually clawed to ground, but he lost possession of the ball. It was flicked forward, lost his grasp of the ball. He knocked on there, but Barreto's pass just in front of Glenn Falls almost had released Jordan Edmonds. It was asking a lot of the left winger, but he was almost equal to it.
He almost got it. Great defence there at the midfield. Not only, but to be fair, Robbie Callum managed to get that ball away. The ball bounces, and look at the power that we keep talking about Jordan Edmonds. I'm not sure if he tried to offload this or if it just slipped out by mistake. I'm not sure, but it's Loman McPherson eventually with the tackle. There's a big hit from Lewis Ball in the midfield, but again Boroughmuir Bears wanting to get the ball moving hand to hand, keep it alive, create so much more problems for the defence, and I think he just lost control of it, didn't he? There was cover there for Watsonians. Could see it was over, but you can see the threat the left winger poses.
Watsonians scrum then close to their own try line, under a bit of pressure from almost an in-goal area. They have to try and orchestrate an exit from their 22. They managed to gain some ground beyond that 5 metre line. Frostwick with the box kick, plenty distance in that, not so much height there, and that's an excellent exit from the 22 because they were certainly under pressure. They've been able to take that one up to the 10 metre line.
Yeah, touched in flight.
Did really well there, Scott King picking up a loose ball up off his bootlaces, and then there's some possession, sustained possession for Watsonians before Frostwick, who was under pressure as well with that box hit. There was 2 charges on him, but he managed to get it away and get it 45 metres upfield. Good kick.
Well, we were a bit concerned that cloud and possibly rain would have an impact on the game during the course of the second half. It remains very bright down there on the pitch at the moment, and Watsonians have managed to secure possession once again from that line out. That was a good set piece play back towards Frostwick again, on towards Reynolds. There's the kick, and that's gathered, and Boroughmuir again are able to hoist that one forward courtesy of Glenn Falls. Back though, Reynolds was mobile. Reynolds though just plays that out on the full, and having covered ground well and was able to take possession of the ball. That's a disappointing end result there from the Watsonians fly half, and suddenly Boroughmuir find themselves back between the 10 and 22.
Yeah, initially well covered by Glenn Falls, needed exactly the right thing. The ball got held up in the air, so it didn't go quite as far as he'd wanted, but Joe Reynolds had read it well, but then the execution of the kick wasn't quite up to the mark, and it carried quite a long way over the touchline actually. It's frustrating because as soon as you kick that, you know what you've done wrong, and you think, why did I try and make it so accurate? Even if the ball's in play,
put a number 9 in,
you know, the Boroughmuir Bears have to deal with that, retreating back to their own goal line. Just keep it on the field.
Time off. No.
Referee just,
guys, can we get this sorted, please?
Intervening in this line out. Is I think concerned about the numbers of Boroughmuir players, how many they actually want in the line here, as it's going to be Drummond with the throw in again. Watsonians challenging well, but it's back now towards Barreto, taken on this time by Rhys Tate, trying to make some ground up towards the edge of the 22, and Barreto on his knees there did well to retain possession of the ball for the visiting side, leading by a margin of 4 points. 3 tries on the board, so they're seeking a bonus point score, and it would be something of a confidence boost if they were to pick something up this afternoon. Brown was almost through there, Barreto in behind, there's the grubber kick. Watsonians have covered back inside the 22 and they're able to exit, and that will find touch, and across will come Jamie Drummond, almost exactly the position they had the throw in just a few moments earlier.
Yeah, change of tactic that time for Barreto, keeping the ball low, forcing Harvey Elms to kick out from his own 22. Harvey Elms would probably want more distance in that clearance, especially with the wind behind, but he did the right thing in getting the ball off the field because he was back on his own, and it's good game management really from Barreto, coming back down the short side. Again, Tom Brown almost getting away. Rhys Tate was involved again with the sidestep.
Dummy throw.
Jamie Drummond's throwing, but he's been done for a dummy throw there. We don't see that too often in the game. That will disappoint Jamie Drummond, and there's an attacking opportunity. Comes to nothing for Boroughmuir.
So after your decision, 5 red, gentle slap to the face.
Just controls the hooker. Will be disappointed. Craig Kenny looking for a bit more from his charges as we're getting to that very crucial stage in the game now. The game's so close and approaching 55 minutes gone.
And it's been reversed, so that it is in a penalty.
Time back on.
Assistant referee came on and said there was a patronising slap by number 5 there, Badenhorst on his opposite number. It's not needed at all, and it's just applies pressure more onto his side. You can see Sam Daly, the number 8, was livid with his second row colleague. There's no need to do it. That's a good kick as well from Boroughmuir, line out 5 metres from the goal line. Jamie Drummond will get his timing right this time, just feeling new into the squad, plays Shaboz as well, so get that link moving now.
Again, that stab thrown towards the front of the line there, and Boroughmuir now have an excellent platform for them to build. Drummond just tries to burrow his way through the Watsonians defence. Those Boroughmuir players in front of him as well. They're camped pretty much on that try line now. They'll want to try and recycle. They're sliding across the pitch there as an illustration of it has been wet and damp in recent times around my side, but it's a bright afternoon at the moment. Surface in excellent condition. Barretto just pokes one through there to allow Boroughmuir to give chase.
No advantage, come
but
back
the referee
here.
will come back. There was a penalty awarded. I think it was conceded by Harrison Courtney. So
1 red collapsing.
Yeah, Harrison Courtney has been binned for collapsing there. So Boroughmuir then will have this opportunity deep inside the Watsonians 22 again to try and turn the screw. Simprich signalling he's going to go for the corner.
Similar to the first half, some good Watsonians defence, but it's a discipline that's let them down. As Courtney's penalised for pulling them all down, but then after the defence was excellent, forcing Barretto out a speculative grubber kick, where keeping it in the hands under penalty advantage would probably be more sensible. It's one at the back of the lineup by McGinley.
Looked as if it was perhaps an overthrow, but McGinley was in the right place just to secure possession of the ball again for this Boroughmuir side. Still inside that 22. Recycled again. Andrews right in the thick of it. And Boroughmuir number 8. They're going to work it towards the right hand side. 3 players just adjusting their possession inside that 22 for Boroughmuir as they continue to try and attack this Watsonians defence. Looking for a 4th try, which would be a bonus point this afternoon. Back through the hands of Keddy. Taken into contact, forced to deck again, Boroughmuir. Still they have possession of the ball. Keddy once again, really high challenge coming in there. Yep, high challenge been signalled by Ian Kenny, the referee, so Boroughmuir will have a further opportunity. Barretto then on now towards Falls. Falls now finds a gap. Is he going to be over for the score? He is! It was perhaps just a matter of time before Boroughmuir would make Watsonians pay, and it's Robbie McCallum who's in for the try. The inside centre scoring try number 4, and Watsonians, well, they're architects of their own downfall, perhaps a little bit harsh, but credit to Boroughmuir for finishing off a fine move.
That's a fine finish, isn't it, from number 12, Robbie McCallum, who's looked so sharp. He's broken the line on 2 or 3 occasions and then offloaded. This time he breaks the line and goes all the way and scores. That's a fantastic finish, a double step there at the end to try and outfox Rowan Frostwick, but he just sees the space between the 2 defenders, accelerates through, and then that double step and dives over. That's a fantastic score after an incessant period of pressure from Boroughmuir Bears, not helped by the discipline or ill discipline of Watsonians, but it's a cracking try from the number 12.
Simprich then looking to add the extras, so Simprich, Barretto, McCallum, and a penalty try so far for Boroughmuir. Simprich then, can he make it 3 from 3 from his own tally of conversion attempts? He has indeed.
Yeah, it's grand.
And he makes his way back to halfway as Watsonians now begin to ring the changes in the front row, and it looks as if they're going to make a change at half back as well.
Well, Robbie McCallum's been dangerous in the ball. As he made the first initial break and passed it back in for Barretto's try, the first try. He's so low to the ground, he's so quick in his feet, dynamic as well, a hard centre to put down. He played really well, the inside centre this afternoon.
Recycled and played downfield there, as again that return from Boroughmuir takes play up closer towards halfway beyond that 10 metre line, and Watsonians will adjust their position again, ready for this line out throw. So, Harris and Courtney and Ross Graham have made way, so we've got Carl Davis and Cole Lamberton on for Watsonians, and Carl Davis's first action was to throw the ball into the line out there, with play camped just on halfway at the moment. On they go once again, picked up by the tight head prop Angus Williams, almost at walking pace. Williams has it again, tries to make some ground into Boroughmuir territory. Recycled again by a Watsonian side, now just trying to make some ground up towards the 10 metre line. Back they go.
No, play.
Once more trying to build through the half-backs out towards this left hand side. 3 players across, providing attacking cover, taken into contact by Scott King, another replacement a little bit earlier on in the game. Recycled, mopped up there, and Watsonians trying to make some ground as it's back once more to Reynolds, receiving it from his scrum half out towards the right hand side. Slight misunderstanding there as Watsonians, again, the cohesion not quite in evidence just at the moment, knocking the ball forward on the halfway line. Boroughmuir will take that all day long now as they look to protect and perhaps build on the 28-17 lead.
Yeah, it's a shame for Michael Badenhorst, because he actually runs a really good line onto the ball, gets his hands up, the pass is good. He just sometimes you just sometimes drop a pass and he'd be frustrated because he had run at the space well. It's athletic, he knows he's frustrated because there was an opportunity there to attack, but that shape's better in the second half from Watsonians, but keep coming back to it. It's ill discipline, it's the penalties they're conceding that's allowing Boroughmuir to take control of the game, really.
Wind, I think, has picked up a little bit. We can certainly feel it in the back of the commentary position, and the trees just around the edge of the ground. Those that are directly opposite the main stand here are certainly blowing just a bit more vigorously at the moment, as Barreto then picks up on towards Simprich there, almost deflected, and coming through was Cutsier, just trying to disrupt, but it's back now with Boroughmuir, and Simprich has managed to take the ball up towards that 10 metre line. The advantage is over, signalled by the referee Ian Kenny, but Boroughmuir, away they go once again, up towards the edge of the 22. They'll look to try and pick and go once more. Edmonds in the thick of the action again. He does a full 360 there as he straightens up. It's recycled by Barreto on towards Simprich again, still inside the 22. Ball goes loose, but he's picked up once more by Barreto, still inside the 22. Boroughmuir look to recycle again as they try and hone in and try number 5, leading by this comfortable margin, and accelerating over they go once again. It's the scrum half who's in the right place at the right time to land another try, his second of the match, the 5th for Boroughmuir, and you felt with those breaks from close towards halfway, making valuable ground for the visiting side, that perhaps a 5th try was not too far away. Well, Barreto has landed the 5th try almost on the hour mark, 62 minutes on the clock, and Boroughmuir, you would feel now, are home and hosed.
Brilliant attack once again by Boroughmuir. Look at the number of times they try and get this offload and succeed in getting the offload away. They're refusing to play slowly. They're pick and pop by Craig. It's just so clever to get the ball up in hand the whole time. Craig Kerry offloading, prior to that Rhys Tate had offloaded 2 or 3 times. Barreto looking for those second touch. There's Rhys Tate's footwork as well. John Edmonds had picked right over the top of the possession and got away. Craig Kerry's one-handed offload. It's a hand-to-hand skill level and a tempo that Watsonians can't really cope with at the moment, because the first tackle is not physical enough, and thereafter they're always chasing their tail. There's not a fixed point to get a defensive alignment set from. Boroughmuir are attacking so well and so effectively.
Simprich looking to land the extra 2 points as Watsonians again have a player stripped and ready. Harry Fisher just down below us, looking to enter the field of play. Simprich then with the kick. 36-13 was the scoreline when they met at Megget Land. They come on rushing players now, that's just drifting Over it goes. Well, I thought they'd actually gone behind that right hand post, but the assistant referees both raising their flags. It's a converted try then. Simprich adding the extras. 35 points to 17 the scoreline, and there's a replay of Barretto's second try.
Yeah, just the tempo and the speed, isn't it? Everybody comfortable on the ball 2 or 3 times, breaking the line, keeping the ball alive, refusing to play slowly. This is the wind causing havoc on another kick. I think that Tristan Andrews lost it in the sun and the wind, but he's eventually got it back, and Watsonians desperate to try and wrestle some momentum back in this game because it's going away from them pretty quickly.
Sam Daly is off and Harry Fisher is on. Andre Kuba, I think, is also on for Boroughmuir, as in the sunshine, the 2-time try scorer and scrum half Barretto with the box kick down closer towards halfway. He himself, as we mentioned earlier in commentary, won a couple of Player of the Match awards during the middle portion of the competition. And also in the Boroughmuir ranks, Jordan Edmonds has picked up a Man of the Match award. I think that was up at Stirling County in that narrow defeat just a few weeks ago. As Watsonians now will look to Carl Davis, look for an assured throw in the line out. Back it comes through the hands of the scrum half, on then towards Reynolds. Opportunities opening up down this left hand side perhaps for Watsonians, but running into trouble there. Tom Brown remained upright in the challenge, mopped up and recycled again, back row forward, then takes it into to play a loose ball over that 10-metre line ball. One of the players shown a yellow card in the game, back towards Reynolds, out towards this right hand side. Watsonians with the penalty advantage, collected by Barretto on the edge of the 22. The referee will come back for the offside decision given against McGinley. And Watsonians, well, they know that time is against them as they try and work their way back into this game.
Yeah, there's an offside in the middle of the field, I think. McGinley, tight head prop, and you can see how quickly Watsonians want to try and get the tempo up. There's Reynolds with the penalty away already. Good kick as well, 10 metres from Boroughmuir goal line. 11. But then they're taking the time to get to the line out.
Time off. 12
there's another
and
change.
14 sub. 12 and 14.
2 changes then.
Time's
for
off, guys. Time's off.
Watsonians. I see Rhys Cullen coming onto the field of play.
DC,
So
hold
too
him,
is
hold
Mark
him,
Morrison. No further changes there. Cullen himself got in an explosive little scrum half. Very effective half-back player, played in the Championship in England for a few years, well known around Myerside, product of Biggar as well, good sevens player. Shot stabbed through, no, that's deflected back. Barretto just leaves it and it's picked up there, and suddenly Edmonds gallops out of that 22. Up he goes. He's got some real confidence about what he can do, you know, when he's got players in front of him. Brilliant acceleration as Boroughmuir take it up and beyond that 10-metre line. Tate again in the right place to continue the running. Andrews just could not be in the right position for the secondary offload there, but Rhys Tate again turning defence into attack very quickly. And Watsonians find themselves back, trying to build from the edge of their own 22 now. Tackles coming in again, but Edmonds and Tate very effective with 2 really attacking runs there from deep inside their own half of the field. Recycled there, early touch for Morrison, and Morrison's been flattered just on his own 22 there. So welcome to the contest there for the Watsonians replacement, who's just sitting up on his backside now. He'll get back to his feet.
Well, this is Rhys Tate again. He's been outstanding breaking field. This came from a turnover line out, and right in their own bottom left hand corner. Jack Fisher won the line out, and look, that's Jack Fisher there again, trying to get the offload away. Maybe should have held on to that one, but you can just see it's infectious. The way you want to play, keep the ball alive, move it hand to hand. There's 2 or 3 players getting treatment at the moment for both sides, really. They must be utterly exhausted with the end-to-end nature of it, and especially the tempo. That's it with the second half.
Time back on, we'll play. He's not interfering.
I think from a point of view, the physicality of the game and the aspects of the pace of the game, we're now beginning to see this new level of FOSROC Super 6 and what it brings, you know, when you compare a few years ago to the pace and the physical players in the Premiership.
Yeah, absolutely, you can see, and the conditions help as well. I know we've got a dry day here, but it's the ability not only just to have the physical strength, but to bring the dynamism to it. So not only the bigger players and stronger players are actually running harder, attacking space, making hard decisions every contact. I know it's high quality stuff.
That's a flat pass out there towards the right hand side again. Cullen was just occupying a position just to disrupt things across on the right for Watsonians and continue that forward momentum. David Changlen raises the flag. The assistant over on that far side.
It's not going to go quickly. No.
Ball into touch.
No,
Referee Ian Kenny, you can hear in the background say, no, we're not going quickly. It's going to be an organised set play.
Maybe he's wanting a rest as well.
Tell you an interesting thing as well, looking at the scoreline and the fixture played earlier on with the Alan McNish Trophy in mind. There's only 5 points separating the sides now. So I think if my maths is correct,
so Watsonians are still,
they've got a 5 point lead. So an unconverted try would level things up. I think I'm right in saying that. I'd rather get somebody else to check the figures, but it's a close run thing at the moment. Watsonians recycling
tackle
between the 10 and the 22 at the moment. And it comes back now. Ken Cullen works his way around, almost like a slalom skier, offload just round the back door there, making some ground. Recycled once again. And Scott and Cullen will be important figures in the game, so too this man Reynolds as he gains some ground but loses possession. Boroughmuir trying to play a high line there just to disrupt the Watsonians attack. Callum was coming flying through there with the boots as well, but it's been awarded to Boroughmuir again, taking the ball into contact. Morrison, the player that's been penalised, but he's seen back to his feet. Watsonians had players taking the ball into contact, couldn't release possession of the ball. It was Kieran Watt, in fact, that became the isolated figure. He just slams a fist off the red scrum cap he's wearing. And that presents Boroughmuir with this chance to clear downfield.
Yeah, it was Tate with a classic jackal position over the top of Kieran Watt as he got isolated because the game's lost its structure somewhat. You see Rhys Cullen and trying to create something for Watsonians, but then when it becomes a little more individual, it's difficult to keep the structure in the game, and Rhys Tate recognised that and won that penalty over.
Michael Badenhorst right on the touchline was trying to keep the ball in play there.
3 red. 3 red, so
it's going to be another throw in here for Boroughmuir. Jamie Drummond in position in front of the main stand.
What's going on here, Kevin?
Well supported this afternoon. Kevin, seats
Kevin, as the
been taken by spectators.
Okay. Time back on.
Quite a number of spectators electing to watch on from the sunnier position of the banking on that far side. Tristan Andrews makes way as he's put in another good shift this afternoon for Boroughmuir as they're looking to head to win number 3 in the season. But that throw in from Drummond just a little long and gathered at the back of the line, and Watsonians again through the hands there of Murray Scott out towards this right hand side. Rhys Cullen is occupying the position out on the right. It doesn't quite find a little squat figure of Cullen who goes in to try and ensure possession. Comes the way of Watsonians, but it's Boroughmuir again looking to steal and win turnover ball right in the halfway line. Biaretto just bides his time, waits, and is able to feed the ball back there towards Semprits. Semprits seemed to take his eyes off the ball just ever so slightly there, knocking the ball forward on his own 10-metre line. So a few mistakes beginning to creep into the game as we see Scott McGinley is on for Tristan Andrews. 35 points to 17 inside the final 10 minutes of the game. Chris, and would you have your money on Boroughmuir landing their 3rd win of the season at this stage?
I think so. They've actually looked at quality outfit all afternoon, and their discipline's been better. They've had fewer mistakes, but the key difference for me is just the tempo and incision in the attack, and that willingness to give an offload, to make sure it goes to hand, to avoid always having as little slow possession as possible. Just keep the defence guessing. Some really impressive performances out there.
Watsonian scrummage, feeding the ball into the scrum. Watsonians then looking to recycle on there towards Morrison. Back it comes to Reynolds. Cullen is able to pick up, accelerating away, tries to escape the attentions there of Glenn Falls. Boroughmuir managed to reorganise in defence down the blind side, taken on there by Harvey Elms into the 22. Mopped up there by Scott. Back infield, back row forward is Lewis Ball. Takes the ball further into that 22. Watsonians players just a change of direction as it's back with Morrison. Flat pass, but an effective one again as Watsonians continue to carry with Morrison again inside the 22. Tackled by Nkoob there. slowing up this Watsonians attack.
Ripped in the tackle.
Again, the ball has been ripped in the tackle. Seen by the referee, so it's turned over the ball, and it's once again Barreto just with the simple pass out towards the right hand side. He'll go in once again, perhaps lining up Simprich for a kick out of that 22. Barreto electing to bring Jordan Edmonds into play like a bulldozer, carries everything in his path outside of that 22. Barreto again measuring up the box kick this time, height and distance on it. Underneath it is Cullen on this right hand side. Cullen tries to weave and steer his way in. Oh, he's away beyond that 10 metre line. Lovely bit of running there for Rhys Cullen out towards Morrison. Reynolds now out towards the left hand side, carried forward, looking to bring the ball back in field. Tackles coming in once more, very quickly played on there by Scott. Recycled back the way of Morrison. Watsonians with the penalty advantage. Watsonians again looking at Morrison to perhaps provide an opening. A new offside signalled by the referee, so Watsonians will have a second bite at the cherry here as they remain inside the Boroughmuir 22. Players just adjusting their position there as Murray Scott goes in looking to recycle, so he knows the penalty advantage is coming, taken on by Lamberton. Once more up within 4 metres of that try line now. Chris Patterson will be thinking about his player of the match as it's been recycled by King on towards Morrison. He knows this is free ball underneath it there. It's covered well enough by Edmonds across on that far side, and Rhys Cullen over there as well. They were almost running out of options, but they had the penalty advantage coming.
Well, Rhys Cullen's made an impact as he coming on. You see, it's such a live wire. He's actually playing on the wing, and this is his counter attack that set up that prolonged attack really from Watsonians so well. I would say it's a great tackle by Jamie Drummond round the ankles, and then after 2-3 penalties in a row, we come back to one of them. I think it was one of them for Jordan Evans being offside, but Jordan Evans said a certain try there with that quality leap and catch above his head from the crossfield kick from Mark Morrison. It was a really accurate crossfield kick.
We have yourself and number 13 offside in the centre.
Yeah, I think there was 3 penalties in that phase alone that Ian Kenny's describing to Craig Kerry.
Yeah, I know. Ross, go back. Clock's off. Thank you. No, time's been off for about a minute now. Number 3
gets back to his feet, having sustained a knock. Colin Barreto has made way. Martin McGinley has also made way.
I will tell you when the time has gone off.
So Murray Johnston is on. Scott Habib is also on for Boroughmuir, so changes in the front row and change at scrum half for the visiting side. So this after a period of time where players have been receiving a bit of treatment, the match will restart with Watsonians on the attack.
Going off, yes or no?
The referee checking if Martin Simprich is also leaving the field of play. You can see that Kyle McGee has sprinted on, so Simprich has also ended his afternoon's activities on the pitch as it's a pick and go. And Watsonians now trying to play clash ball around that 5 metre line. Again looking to recycle inside the final 5 minutes of the contest here. They're facing a home defeat to Boroughmuir, who'll be looking to land their 3rd win of the season, with a really solid defensive cover tackle there as it comes out now towards the replacement fly half, dancing his way into play there, but a good challenge coming in from Duncan Munn. As again, Mark Morrison perhaps providing an opening for Watsonians. Another advantage coming the way with Jack Fisher swinging into an offside position. The referee Ian Kenny squatting down, raising the arm as Watsonians just had extra men in possession, and an exhausted Boroughmuir defence are back to their feet just now. And it's been picked up, and Watsonians have scored finally their 3rd try of the afternoon, and that was great efforts there just from the forwards.
It was. As Campbell also again with his 2nd try. He's been impressive in the back row for Watsonians, but I mean they had to work hard for it as well. The determination and the guts and effort from the defence from Boroughmuir was one thing, but Watsonians just always maintained that extra player, always maintained the pressure. They were playing under penalty advantage. I think there was 5 penalties conceded by Boroughmuir in the last 2 phases alone, if that makes sense.
Time off.
And eventually they just cracked, and Campbell Wilson made it over.
Yeah, well, I think that will secure the Alan McNeice Trophy for Watsonians this afternoon, but Boroughmuir are still on course for another win in the FOSROC Super 6 Championship season, their third of the season, and they've landed 5 tries this afternoon. Morrison winning the ball from the kick-off there, out towards this right-hand side. Taken forward by Reece Cullen. Will be recycled and mopped up there by Murray Scott. Scott in again, on towards Morrison. Flat pass working out towards this left-hand side, towards the stand side, taking the ball again into the contact situation, tackled though by Craig Keddy. Watsonians players back to their feet, second row forward. Badnor's taking the ball into that last contact situation. It's back now towards the edge of the 22 with Reynolds. Out towards the right-hand side, just bypasses Reece Cullen on this occasion, up towards the halfway line. Back it will come, Reynolds and Morrison. Chris has been given the player of the match a lot of thought. We'll get that from Chris in just a moment as we watch on. Morrison out towards this left-hand side, and again Badenhorst taking the ball up towards the halfway line. Look to reorganise and mop things up, and Murray Scott again feeding the ball just infield, just over the halfway line. Scott and Cullen could be related, they look very alike to one another as the penalty's been awarded to Watsonians. They'll want to get on with this quickly. Chris, I think we might have time for your thoughts on player of the match.
Yeah, it comes in at Boroughmuir Bears team. There have been a few outstanding candidates. Christian Andrews, I thought, has been outstanding. Colleen Barretto has 2 tries. Again, Robbie McCallum has been impressive, but this week's FOSROC player of the match is number 7, Rhys Tate. He's tackled himself to an absolute standstill. He's been dynamic in attack. He's broken the defensive line time and time again, got his hands free in contact. An outstanding open side player. The FOSROC player of the match is Rhys Tate.
Thoroughly deserved accolade for the Boroughmuir Bears open side flanker Rhys Tate. FOSROC Super 6 player of the match. Recycled ball once again on towards Morrison, receiving the pass there from Scott, out towards this right hand side, and a deft piece of running there as Watsonians are over for the score, and it's Reynolds who finishes things off, not quite in the corner, but he was a spare man out on that right hand side, and Watsonians, well, they're eating into this Boroughmuir advantage. Perhaps the clock is just going to beat them at the end, but the ball you can see working its way out there towards Reynolds, and Reynolds had a little look towards the left hand side but thought, no, this try is mine, and he ducks it down.
Yes, he runs such clever lines, Reynolds. He's so good at actually cutting into the line or drifting away from the possession. The ball actually bounces off the ground from Morrison's pass, but Reynolds just knew exactly where the space was, drifted towards it. A real class attacker, and he deserves that try. He's been a threat with ball in hand, his Reynolds. He can play any position across the back line, really, and you can see that there. He started at 10, he's now in the midfield. And I say the Boroughmuir Bears defence is just absolutely exhausted, but they've been impressive today, both sides, 9 tries. But Boroughmuir Bears deserve the victory.
And Reynolds just wide of the uprights from the conversion. There is the full-time whistle. 29 points to 35. A thoroughly enjoyable Sunday afternoon's rugby then at Myerside, and it's a third win of the season for the Boroughmuir Bears, with Colleen Barretto scoring 2 tries. Martin Simprich also on the score sheet in the first half, a penalty try awarded almost on the stroke of half time for the visitors. Robbie McCallum also scoring for Boroughmuir, but this afternoon it was a Reynolds penalty that opened the scoring. It was also a Ross Graham try that had further points on the board for Watsonians before half time, but 2 excellent Campbell Wilson scores from close range, and that Reynolds try right on the stroke of full time has ensured that Watsonians pick up a bonus point this afternoon, but the win goes the way of their near neighbours Boroughmuir Bears, 35 points to 29. And of course what that means as well is that Boroughmuir, although they've picked up the victory this afternoon, they've not been able to do enough to win the aggregate scoreline between the sides, and the winners of the aggregate score will pick up a piece of silverware. It's a trophy that's been played for by both these sides in recent years. It's named after a man who's very highly regarded in these parts, Alan McNeish, who passed away back in March of 1995. He was a Watsonians Rugby Club president. He was a very important figure in Scottish rugby. He was in charge of an Edinburgh side that played the All Blacks at Myerside back in October 1983, a side that it did include both Jim and Finlay Calder in the ranks, as well as a young Gavin Hastings. And in just a few moments down on pitch side, we'll see Alan McNish's widow Val present the silverware to Watsonians, who've won the trophy this season with that aggregate win. There is Val on screen, and Angus Williams will just make his way across. There he is in their picture alongside Val. I'm sure Val has thoroughly enjoyed this afternoon's action. And the Watsonians squad are just assembled behind their captain, and they'll receive the trophy there from Val. Stadium announcer just drawing the attention of the crowd to this little presentation. Thoroughly deserved. Big smile on the face there of Angus Williams as he receives the trophy from Val McNish, and that will stay at Myerside this afternoon.
Hope to see you many of you as possible here. Thanks for coming along today. Hope you enjoyed the game. Really high scoring game here at Myerside.
Well, the second half, we were looking to see who was going to come out of the blocks flying here, Chris. Watsonians really needed something very quickly in the second half to stay in the game. And there's the first of the Campbell Wilson scores.
Yeah, Campbell Wilson got it low, hard to let. It took a long time for it to come, really. They had to work really hard to get that, and then you thought, well, is the comeback coming on? You know, Watsonians, with that win behind, were able to, to get that score through Campbell Wilson, but then they just couldn't really get a hold of the game thereafter. Boroughmuir Bears were almost in control of the game for the whole game, if that makes sense. Robbie McCallum with a try there, just an excellent sidestep out to the left hand side, then a double step at the end. That came after some brilliant handling from Boroughmuir, offloading a tempo to the game, the ball going hand to hand rather than going to the deck and setting up a ruck or indeed a maul. So it was just the tempo that Boroughmuir played with that really laid the platform and for opportunities like that, like Robbie McCallum, to finish off.
Yeah, Boroughmuir have been very good on their feet this afternoon, showing a lot of strength on their feet, and players like Jordan Edmonds, who, as you say, can play in the centre and out wide, are also going to cause some damage.
Yeah, and this was Barretto's second try, wasn't it? You can see again Craig Keddy with a pick up, and then that offload. It'd be great to see the stats for the number of offloads, not only the number of offloads but the percentage success of the offload. It looked as if 9 times out of 10 that the decision was good and the execution was good, and it just didn't give Watsonians an opportunity to get set in defence. A really good way of attacking, and Barretto, who's been outstanding, as we've said for a number of weeks now in the FOSROC Super6, got his second try of the afternoon from the offload with Craig Keddy, who was also impressive. So many top performers on the field today from the Boroughmuir Bears, but the last one did go to Watsonians. First, Campbell Wilson with his second try. This was late on, this is dying moments, and then there was another try thereafter from Joe Reynolds. But Boroughmuir had the game won by this point. They got a bonus point, obviously, which boosts the league tally, but it's not enough. Watsonians were looking for more than that. That's Campbell Wilson with his second, very similar to his first, really low and hard to the ground, getting under pressure. And the final try came from Joe Reynolds. The ball, the good old bounce pass, hits the ground, and then Joe Reynolds just reads the bounce, drifts on the pass, and then makes it look easy at times, doesn't he? He runs his lines, he runs are so clever. He does make it look easy. Couldn't quite make the conversion, and the blustery wind from out there, but it brings a final score to the home side. Watsonians 29, Boroughmuir Bears 35.
Yeah, Graham Shields been looking for a performance like this, and it did come this afternoon. Their third win of the season then for Boroughmuir Bears. It means though that the Alan McNish Trophy does go the way of Watsonians, winning the aggregate score. And McNish, of course, one of his proudest moments was to represent the Barbarians this afternoon. Not quite Barbarians-esque rugby, but a thoroughly entertaining match nonetheless between these two Edinburgh rivals. Boroughmuir then winning this afternoon, the Bears winning the contest by 35 points to 29.
Dominant performance from Boroughmuir this afternoon, a great victory from them. It finished 29 points to 35 to the visitors. Watsonians retained the trophy though, because they had the more positive points difference. But my goodness, what a game that was. Plenty of tries, plenty of action, and I'm delighted to introduce to you the FOSROC Super 6 player of the match, Rhys Tate. Rhys, congratulations to you guys. Third win of the season, you must be delighted.
Definitely, I'm just really proud of the boys. I mean, I think we've had a lot of promising performances, but we've not quite hit it for 75-80 minutes. But I think that's the first time we've actually, 78 minutes this time. But no, I'm just really proud of the boys to get that win.
It's true, because you have dominated so many games yet not got the wins. So to get that, especially here against your kind of fierce rivals, Watsonians, as the wind really blows around here, I mean, you must be particularly happy, seeing it out.
Definitely, I think we've had a lot of good chats through the week, and we've really focused on just sticking it for that 80 minutes. And I mean, I think the boys, that's the best performance we've done as a team, so I'm just really happy we can get over the line.
Absolutely, and your own performance as well, you just kept at it, when you had to get involved in the rucks, you were doing all the nasty stuff and you were tackling like a man possessed.
No, I do a lot of practice at that, so I mean, no, I think it's more of a team thing. I mean, we stuck it well as a team, so I'm just really proud of the boys.
So of course you've got the 3 wins now, you were hoping to make it 4 next week?
Definitely, I mean, we're heading into the last couple of games of the season. I mean, we've spoke about these last 3 being, we need to have the best performances, and heading into these last couple of games we're going to try replicate what we put on the pitch today.
Well listen, congratulations, you are the FOSROC Super 6 player of the match. Rhys Tate, congratulations, if you could give him the medal there.
Thank you very much.
There you go, there's the man, he's got the trophy around his neck and he absolutely deserves it as well. Great performance from him, great performance from Boroughmuir as well. They of course will be in action again next week, as will we of course be in action next week. We'll be back here. Watsonians again are up against Ayrshire Bulls. Ayrshire Bulls of course sitting at the top of the table at the moment. What a match that should be. It looks like Ayrshire Bulls are going to play Southern Knights in the final. If you want to come along to that final, of course you can buy tickets at the Scottish Rugby website, or indeed of course it will be live right here on Free Sports. But after a fantastic performance from Boroughmuir here this afternoon, thank you so much for your company. Bye for now.